Hello! Are you curious about how we've gotten this far with this massive Mercury class Pegasus build? Well, join me today as we watch the first supercut. Hello and welcome to today's video. Today is a video of basically taking a lot of the parts of the stream and showing how we have gotten from a piece of filament and PLA to this massive Pegasus. And honestly guys, this thing isn't even done. This is just basically the mega video part one. So what you guys are going to see today is basically a conglomerate of all the times we've worked on that in the stream. You're going to see the time lapse of when a smaller little one of that one got printed, because I can't find the time lapse of that one. And basically this is going to be a nice quick video to get caught up to where we are with building that and possibly talk about some of the next steps. Hope you guys enjoy the Megacut.
Alright guys, here's the model out on Thingiverse. Battlestar Pegasus High Detail by David Bogarts. So this is the model that I printed. Downloaded. I printed this all in one print. I didn't really pay attention to my scaling when I did it, unfortunately. So it's not as big as the other Battlestars that you see on the shelf behind me in the other cuts. But really great model, great looking, good detail, and it's not a lot of files to print. So this one's downloaded already, so let's hop over to Cura. And I use the CR10, but you can easily use an Ender 3 on this one. Now what I did with the CR10 is I put every piece on the plate. I printed it all in one print. I ran the risk. And there was some work I had to do to this because I didn't like the way it laid down and I wanted to get as much clean detail as I could. So I'm adding in the bays right now. We'll twist those. Here's the back of the engines. Now you notice they're sitting on their sides. I didn't care for that. They put these wonderful seams in that, get the front on here, I felt were laid out really well that I could just use those seams to hide any imperfection. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now there's two ways you can do this. All the parts, Kira's going to throw a little bit fit because I've been throwing a lot out of here, and I'll zoom in here. You can see there's a really good amount of detail in all these pieces. Or, just for fun here, there is the complete Pegasus that you can print. Maybe. Okay, that you can print. Now if I was going to print the complete Pegasus, or any of these parts in all honesty, I'd rotate it to a perfect upright. Just like that. I'll move it on the plate so it goes yellow. So there's the complete finished product that we're printing today. Very nicely laid out, very nice detail, but I did it in the parts mode. So I'm going to delete that selected model. Now all these parts, you got to my recommendation to you is rotate them. They have the seams, rotate them to what's best going to fit. Make sure you have them zeroed out for your Z-axis so they're completely up on your build plate. And you'll need to do this for each individual part. So you can see it takes up a lot of my build space on the CR10, easily done on an Ender 3 as well. Scaling, that's up to you on how you want to scale it. Do you guys want to see me print one as big as to scale against my other Battlestar Galactica? If you do, comment down below, let me know, and I will definitely give that some consideration. But all in all, this model is really simple, not a lot of infill required at all, very sturdy, good, clean detail, as you guys can see. Standard print settings that I use. I did use a raft, but let's hop up top. So 0.15 for my initial layer, 0.3 layer height. I'm using a 0.4 nozzle, Inland PLA Plus Gray is what I use to print this one. So basically, get everything turned up just like these pieces. Zero it out, enlarge it, shrink it however you want to. If you want to see me print a larger one, like I said, comment down below, let me know, and I will definitely think about it. Or if you want me to try to print the entire complete piece. But in all honesty, printing this way is going to be your best bet to get a good clean model. You'll have a little bit of seam work. That's always to be expected, to clean up and make it look really pretty, because we are doing a 3D print. But all in all, there is some amazing detail on this model, especially here in the engine cluster. I was just really impressed with the amount of detail here. So you've got the dual pods, they're hollow all the way through. So there's a lot to this model that just looks gorgeous. So again, if you want to see me print a bigger one, let me know down in the comments below. But let's hop over to that printer and let's get this print started. So infill density, I went very low. Temperature 215, 50-degree build plate. I'm in Missouri right now. It's the middle of winter, so the 50 build plate is working well for me. Of course, you're doing multiple pieces, so make sure that retraction is enabled. I recommend Z-hop when retracted, and Z-hop uncheck Z-hop only over printed parts, because if there is any support on there, it will smack that support and cause you problems. So, and print cooling is pretty much standard setting, and I did very little support. There was some needed for like these arms on the launch pods, because I turned, like I said, I turned everything where that internal seam was, just to let it print upright. So all the pods I turned essentially this way, made sure they're zeroed up on the build plate so I get everything, but there will be support needed for those arms. So not a ton to go on there, but it's one of those things. Make sure you do have support as you need it to make sure you get through this model and get a good clean run. Now I am still using Cura 4.62. I have a new computer on the way, and I plan on switching to Cura 4.8 when that computer arrives. Basically just a fresh clean install, move my settings over, and run as fast as I can. So those are my settings that I use to print it. Every little printer is a little bit different, so definitely keep that in mind. But this is what I use to print it with all these sitting upright. So let's hop over to that time lapse, and I'll catch you guys on the other side. We're working on a new Battlestar Pegasus, and well, I mean, I don't need to say more. It's huge. So basically, what we're going to start doing tonight is we're going to start getting this ship put together. Now, you may notice too, when looking at it, there's a bunch of looks like unfinished parts. That's on purpose. So they're unfinished and open, because I really wanted a lot of detail in these sections. So basically it's going to be whole nother pieces that get put on here. And some pieces may actually get sanded off to make for other print pieces that I decide to put on here. Yeah, JJ, this is going to be huge. Because I'm actually thinking about sanding these guns off, and actually I have the print for the more Battlestar Galactica style guns that I can actually get right about that size and actually mount them maybe with magnets or something. But tonight we are just working on just trying to get the main hull of the ship cleaned up and start getting some assembly done. So to do so, I'm going to use some of my pretty standard tools to assemble it. Super glue, 3D printing pin. Depending on how the process goes, there may be some epoxy put in here. I haven't decided if I want to go that far. We're just going to have to see how she holds together. Move my keyboard here. And some bamboo skewers. So you're probably sitting there going, Mike, why bamboo skewers? Well, basically I can put, if you look down, you can see a lot of hollowness to this. And that was done on purpose. Originally, this wasn't even going to be mine. I had originally started to print this for somebody else, and they decided they couldn't afford it. So unfortunately, I was already 8 days into the print, so I went ahead and printed it. Now, I could go really cool, light it up, stuff like that, but I'm just not really kind of equipped to do that right now for this model. So I just want to build it and give it an awesome paint job. That's what I'm after tonight. So we've got kind of the, like I said, the basic tools, and for the fun of it, I did print. They're not to scale to this, but we got some Mark 7 Vipers to play with maybe later on. So that just needs some loving. But I'm gonna need some snips. I'm going to need my handy dandy the way my day's going here, my Citadel mold line remover. So, because you guys can see there is some where there's support that I just don't want to. Now, a lot of people just get the X-Acto knife. Honestly, this tool does just a good enough job of popping out a lot of that support material. So, I'm not even worried about it. So, basically, we are going to finish cleaning off and getting some assembly into this. Yeah, this one's going to be massive. I think when I laid it out and measured it, that this was 38 inches long. So it's going to be huge, which is why we've got the bamboo skewers to kind of help, give support across the length of the model. And we've got the open section so I can do some resin prints, some really cool extra detail. But I mean, even with FDM, the level of detail is just awesome. The layer lines are not even really an issue. It is kind of on some of the other pieces. There's more layer lines, but like the nose here, there's not going to be a lot of sanding or filling. Right now, it's more of a financial thing, JJ, than it is would I love to do it? Yeah, but when I started looking at all the pieces, this model would get into the hundreds of the lighting would get pretty far up there, and I'm just not really interested in tackling that. So I just want to build it, do a really awesome paint job, especially kind of what I'm thinking is later in the Pegasus life, where she's been, out there with it, so, and running from the Cylons for a long time. So basically, there's nothing stopping me from printing a second one. So, but right now for this one, we're just gonna go. We're just gonna go for a paint job, and once it's painted and everything looks beautiful and happy and all that, probably say goodbye to it. Probably put it up on my Etsy shop or something like that and let it go to a new home. So, but right now I'm more interested. Let's get her assembled and let's get looking at what she looks like. And no, there's still a little bit left in there. I love these super glues from Dollar Tree. They just work really well. They're cheap. They don't clog up near as bad as the little tubes. I love the ability to hold it the way that I do. Now, a lot of times I do a project like this, I would get the, and we may use this later on tonight, I'd use the super glue accelerator, but for like these bigger pieces, the files are available. I have a whole video on making the Pegasus, so go check out that video, and in the description you should find it. If not, reach out and I will probably put a link in the description of this after it'll probably be tomorrow morning till I get it done. So when we do the description and thumbnail and all that fun jazz. But this model is such a beautiful print. I love this one. The default file size is 14 inches.
So you can tell I blew it up big time. I made this one a massive print because honestly, because I can. I'm going to set that over to the side, let that one start to dry. So this one, I printed all these pieces all at the same time. I took the risk. I took the risk on a CR10 Max. So these were all printed together. It took the printer 16 days to do this job. So it was definitely a long job. So kind of keep that in mind, that it'll take some time. The smaller one, I do not have a smaller one anywhere within reach, and I love that little ship. But the little one is about 14 inches. And actually, I think I painted it on this channel, on the live stream. Yeah, definitely kind of keep in mind there was definitely some risks taken with this one, but the risk paid off. The power company did not forsake me that week. All right, let that dry. Let's start. So my goal tonight is to get the, hey Douglas, how's it going? Is to get the main body done. I've got the pods. They're in two pieces. We may get them glued together. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to pull out some clamps for that. But I want to get the engine section put together. So you guys can see, like even this one, this is all actually unfinished. That's on purpose. So I can actually kind of measure and create some cool extra detail to go in there with some resin prints is my hope. And kind of do some filling in with these engines too and really give this an awesome effect. So, and you can see it kind of had a little bit of a boo-boo when I was peeling stuff off. Some of these started popping free, but nothing a little glue can't handle. Basically, you guys can see this is actually going to go together pretty easy. So what I need, what am I thinking? So basically some of this I'm going to put together. Honestly, it doesn't hurt my bill that bad. So it's no worse than running a heater, anything like that, because you're just running a hot end. They're actually quite power efficient. It's when you start having 20 of them in your home, you start to see that impact. But one printer shouldn't hurt your power bill that horribly. Oh, where's my super glue? I'm still learning my desk. Still learning the new desk. I don't even know what scale it is, Douglas. It's 38 inches long when she's fully assembled. So, scale, massive. It's what I'm going to go with. So, I'm going to go through a ton of super glue on that tonight. Getting this thing in one feasible piece, I think. But you know what? It's all worth it. And again, like I said earlier, I get all my super glue at Dollar Tree. I love these little red super glues. They work really well. JJ, which one'd you get? What printer are you going to be bringing to the game? But I mean, you can just see that's the back engines. I mean, Mike has lost his mind a little bit. So Luckily, these kind of just sit together, so I don't really have to clamp them. Actually, I'm gonna ball up a little bit. Super glue accelerant, here we come. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Now, the Cobra Max looks like a fun one. The Illigu Neptune 2S. Ah, awesome. I have not played with either of those two printers. So, but you guys saw in last Friday's video where all my money went. Oh, Mike put all his money in another one of those frozen printers. So, and I'll be honest with you, I have no regrets with the prints that I've got coming out of them right now. JJ, if you want a bigger one, my go-to large printer is the CR10 V2 or V3, which I think if you check out the Creality site, they've been having them on sale for $279, I think. So, kind of one of those things I learned in the beginning too was great. If you're just going to be doing it as a hobby, printing stuff every once in a while, 2 was gold. 3 was okay. 4, you're getting out of control. So, but yeah, you can already see the super glue accelerant has already locked it in. So, we're starting to see some good movement there. Yeah, the CR10 V2 is my go-to. I've got 2 V2s and 1 V3. And the only difference between the V2 and the V3 is a direct drive extruder. That's the only real difference between the two of them and the price. I have 1 direct drive and I have 2 of the standard V2 standard extruders. Wouldn't trade them for the world. Love them. 1 did get damaged in the move. I'm waiting on parts. But, you know, they're real easy to fix. Parts are pretty easy to find. So it's a good printer. It's about all I can truly say, good or bad, about it. It's a good printer, and I love them dearly. The fact that one's damaged right now kind of hurts my soul a little bit, but you know, that is what it is. Ooh, I missed some supports. Oh, we gotta get the supports out. Where my disorganizedness has shown, there it is. Oh. Is my putty knife. So, yeah, 3D printing with you being in CNC and stuff like that, this is gonna be second nature for you. So, and probably a really fun hobby. Gotta get some of these supports out that I missed. Start revealing more of that detail in there. We want all the detail we can get. And it's the cool thing to think about. A lot of people cringe when they see me pulling these supports off. These are meant to be popped off. I'm really not applying that much pressure. So kind of keep that in mind.
And honestly, my opinion right now too is I want her to show a little battle damage. So if an oops happens, cool. I just made the model better, in my opinion. So that's not support, that's not support, that is. All right, so all in all, you guys can see this thing is just coming clean. Support is popping off the way it should. Sometimes they get in there though. Sometimes they get in there and they're just kind of a bear to pop out. Or sometimes they just go boom like that. And that's just exposing all that detail that should be showing. There we go. There we go. It's got some more to pop off over here. This was printed on the CR10 Max, Douglas, and all one big, nice, pretty job. Woohoo! That one went flying. You may want to wear safety glasses sometimes when you do this. I'm just kind of have to put the safety disclaimer out there, ladies and gentlemen. And some of these parts like this, I'm not going to throw away. So, because they have the inlays from what they were protecting, so definitely kind of gives possible cool parts and different things like that. So but right now I want to take this stuff off now because I don't want to have to be prying against it against the whole model where I could possibly break it. And you can see that's opened up a nice bit of it. You've got the part where the ship's crest is. And you can see how that's going to sit with the engines. Like that, and make one great big hull piece. Now, the way this printed, it's going to be hard for me to really kind of show on camera. I'm going to have to do some welding with the 3D printing pin for this piece because of how this is so hollow. So I want to do a little bit more cleanup in here. I didn't notice the raft was not fully cleaned. We need to get that cleaned up. We'll say hello to my friend Snippy Snips here. And we'll pry that out. And guys, this is definitely part one of this build. It's not, we are not finishing this in a night. So this will be a multi-week thing. We may rotate with the Megacut, whatever cool comes back across my plate. But it was kind of one of those things. I read the poll from last week, which I do apologize for canceling. And you guys wanted to see models. So here they are. They are back. And Mike has work he needs to do on them, so even better. Oh, I got so much work to do. I don't know what I'm going to do.
other than use a ton of super glue tonight, which is a-okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the super glue to create a basic hold right now. That way it will hold the part in place so I can come back in with the 3D printing pin and do some cleanup and fixing of the model. Which actually, it feels like I'm going to get a really good hold. Well, no, I spoke too soon now, didn't I? And the cool part about right now is things don't need to be perfect. Things can be off, they can be a little weird, because that's what the pin's going to help us fix. So I need to just let that sit. But I can't because I got to show you guys. I mean, so the mat here is 36 by 24. And that's sitting on the mat. So, yeah. She's massive. So the front's starting to take hold. And that gap down in there doesn't faze me a bit between fillers, 3D printing pin, and everything else. This is going to look pretty darn snazzy. So I'm not even worried about that. Did notice there's some pieces that I didn't clean off that need to pop out. Pop those out real quick. Get more of that detail. More detail exposed. Get these supports off here. Now you guys see how these supports are popping off? A little bit of pressure and they just pop clear. That's what you want when you have supports. So that one's a little stuck. There it goes. All right. And that's more detail right for the picking. All right, we got this section we need to clean up a little bit. Doesn't look too terrible. I've already cleaned this one up. That's why I popped all the supports out of those locations. All right, so basically now we're going to take this section and we're going to get it lined up back here and get it paired on, just like that. Then we will have a very massive, very tall ship. Again, I'm just going to use the super glue for now to get a bonding. then this guy is going to come in and really give a good weld. So these are about $50. This is a 3D printing pin. Uses your filament. If you haven't seen me talk about these, go check out my video on this, because this is an awesome tool to have around. Like I said, 50, 60 bucks. This thing works great for fixing models, saving models, welding models together. It is a very much go-to tool for me. So definitely recommend that one. So we're going to work around, just get a good bead on here. We may not get these two big sections put together tonight, but we'll get some of it put together tonight. So, you guys seeing what I'm working on? What are you guys working on? What projects you all got going on? I know we're all either dreaming or printing things, so what's everybody else out there got going on? I know, JJ, you got to get your printer out of the box. That's step one. Oh. All right. We'll let that one sit. Let that one dry. So we've got basically the two big lengths of the hull put together. And like I mentioned earlier, the bamboo skewers are here for a reason. So unfortunately, due to scent and all that, I'm not going to do this live on stream, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do when I get ready to assemble the two halves. So you guys can see, nice straight hollow. Same on that other section. So basically I'm going to epoxy these into place to grant strength to the model so that she can support her own weight. I plan on just doing a whole set of 6 so that her center section can actually support the weight of both of them. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 2-layer epoxy. I think I've got some sitting around right here. Basically I'm going to use this stuff to actually meld that to the model. And then these seams where you guys have seen me working, the 3D printing pen, I'm actually kind of hoping the engine section might become hard enough that I can come in and actually weld that. But since we're doing good on time, we can start looking at the bays. So, because this model, it's not going to be light. That's kind of the trick about it. So, basically, the pods are just 2 pieces. They just need adhered together, and then they'll connect on. The one thing about the Pegasus is weird. It's got standard and inverted landing bays. I always thought that was kind of cool. And I'm still thinking about if I'm going to take these off and actually print some guns to actually give it more of a feel. Because if I remember right, there was like a gun right here sitting in these areas that don't have them. So I'm actually thinking about it. Those will be resin prints though. But a lot of these detail pieces I'm wanting to add to the model are going to be resin prints. So, and maybe they might be my own designs. I don't know. If I do that, I'm having a problem with this software and my display size. It doesn't like it. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to, if I actually sit down and start doing this in Fusion and stuff like that, how can I get it to where you guys can see it? And I'm running into a resolution issue on that one. So
I'll solve that one though. Just picking out some of this support that's in some of these grooves. And just kind of trimming up some corners. That one's trimmed up pretty good. So, all right, let's start getting the flight pods put together. So a base paint layer will be a gray gunmetal is the plan. We'll do a base gunmetal layer because, yeah. But what I may do is actually come in with like a dark silver and do a lot of the seam lining and then come back across with the gunmetal to brighten it up, and then maybe a little bit of some silver, stuff like that, and then we got to weather it. So there'll be some weathering done to it, some rusting, because she's been out in space forever, and you know, even somehow in space we still find rust. Okay, for this I'm going to use the accelerator again. You guys can see the instant I sprayed that, it turns the super glue a goldish. I need to do this really quickly so I get it to adhere quickly and properly. There we go. And then we'll give that a little bit. I'll hold on to her here real quick. So I'm kind of in a debate of something. I kind of want to try something, and I may do it to the flight pods. I'm debating going solid glass black and then come across with graphite powder. But basically I'm gonna go real dark into these seam lines and then come back real light. Don't worry, you guys will see. It'll be done. This is one of those projects like the Megacut that's going to be done here. So there is no time limit on this. There is no requirement for me to get this done. This is just it got abandoned and I'm going to make something out of it project, and I'm going to do it with you guys. So if you have a recommendation, definitely leave it down in the comments down below and let me know your recommendation, because, you know, that's how we learn and how we grow and how we do things on this channel, is we all work together. So like your rub and buff technique, JJ, throw a video out there for me to go look at, you know, because we all look at the comments, and we may, you know, you putting something out there is going to help someone else. So that's what the whole goal of this channel is to help each other. So definitely something we all want and need. So, oh man, what have I done? What have I done? What have I made here? Douglas, all of it. I will be using everything. I almost have the paint booth. So I have the base design for the actual rattle can and airbrushing outdoor paint booth done. I think I have all my parts to actually build it. Brush painting will be done right here. Now some of the rattle can stuff and stuff like that, maybe it may get turned into just a video, just to maybe just teach techniques, but we'll try to get it on there. And I know I'm doing that off stream. I just don't want to spray it directly across my desk. So that's why I'm going off camera a little bit when I spray that. So just trying to get her straight. And it's one thing about the accelerant, that's already tough. It's already hardening up really well and becoming very hard, which is what we want. And bada boom, bada bing, we've got some flight pods, ladies and gentlemen. We are down a start of a very dark road. Hey, two-a-days, good to see you. It's been a while, man. So two-a-days has bought one of the original ones from me. So I just got my gimbal today to be able to take a look at the print room. So I have Resin Land complete. It's done. I'm still mounting cameras and Raspberry Pis on the filament side, but I actually do plan to record the print room tour here before too long, along with combination of this room. So you guys notice, like, back here is the print studio. When I'm doing videos, that's what I'm in front of. Well, what's over here that you don't see, and this area, which you will see when the paint channel keeps going. So overall length is 38 inches to a day. So roughly this is almost 3 times larger than the model that you got from me. So now I gotta fix a section here that did an unfortunate thing. That won't be hard to fix. Get that guy in place. Then a little bit more glue. Was one of those guys. I put the you guys answered the poll, so I'm trying to meet expectation of that poll. Now I will fully admit this beautiful ship was printed in the old print shop, so but it is getting strong enough. And I'm feeling gutsy, which is never a good thing when I feel that way. I'm not going to assemble it. So this pad is 36 inches. I'm going to get her flight bays right next to her. Oh, this thing took 16 days to print. All one print job on the CR10 Max. 16 days. This is one of the print jobs that I used my spool of 5 kilogram spool to make sure I didn't run out of filament. So it's definitely one of those things. This is a big build. And when it's all, and you guys can see just looking at it, I mean, she is not teeny. It is going to come together. I mean, there's my hand. My hand is one segment. of this ship. So, I mean, this thing is as long as almost my arm. Oh, what have I done? I've done exactly what I set out to do. So, and now we're going to start heating up the pin because I want to start working around in here a little bit, fill that in, and we're going to start actually working on it. Working on the additional 3D printing sections of this. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this content so far. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you want to consider helping out the channel, go check out our Patreon. And soon, the YouTube membership should be coming, which is going to have some fun stuff, guys. And hopefully you guys will join. But definitely, you know, leave those comments down below too. Even if you're just saying hi, a comment, the algorithm sees it and puts this out further. And I think this is going to be one of many, many big builds we're going to start doing. So upstairs, I've got some bus printing that will be going to my friend to be painted. We've got a Master Chief one where you can take the helmet on and off, which is pretty cool. So make sure you're going out and checking out Instagram, because you'll see projects on Instagram long before you see them actually coming over here. So because Instagram catches a lot of my resin printing, so kind of keep that in mind. Go check that out. Ooh, it's been a while since I heated you up. I can smell you. We got some filament to work with. So yeah, we've got a lot coming up, especially with winter getting here, not going outside as much, stuff like that. Yeah, 2-a-days it does, which I got 3 of those in the garage right now. Shh. The 350 refit and the original 350 are sitting in the garage right now for some fun projects coming up on what is about to be the other channel. So, but I need to unload this, but it's not going to let me. And basically, I'm just going to draw a bead across here to help just give that some strength. And that finally ran out. Now you're seeing me reload live. Oh, the Enterprise F, huh? You mean the ship that finally became canon? All right. Oh, I gotta get a new power strip up here. I'll do some welds back here at the engine section real quick. Just add in a bit of strength into the model.
All right. The Enterprise F is not bad looking. She's not my favorite ship. I think she's got some flaw. There's definitely some designs that I don't like about it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I touched on it. Mine even has the weird hollow neck that goes with it. So this is just a quick little resin print that I did. Nice detail, nice model. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad to see it. I'd like to know what happened to the E. Because I know Picard, Picard left her to become the Admiral. So it's kind of one of those things. I still would like to know what happened to the ship that we got. It is interesting to hear that we may get another movie from the TNG cast, which would be pretty cool. Which, if there's a TNG movie, guess what, guys? Spoilers, they can't die. Just kind of throwing that out there a little bit. So, no, the Odyssey class I think is going to be kind of cool. I'll be honest, I didn't think the image we saw was very good. I think they could have stepped it up graphically a little bit, but they were trying to see how we would feel about it. So I can't fault that yet. I will eventually fault it, but not yet. So you gotta sell me on her. I'm just fixing some gaps and some holes right now. So, with my favorite way to fix stuff. Because the 3D printing pen, this is using a filament spool that I couldn't finish with a printer. So I'm using it as a welding agent. So we've got Star Trek Picard in February. We've got Prodigy starting soon. Again, on October 27th, we get the rest of Season 1 finally. So a lot of Star Trek coming up. So don't be surprised. There's even talk of about another Battlestar Galactica reboot. So I was a little shocked to hear that one, but I shouldn't have been. It's so many ways you can tell the story, and just perspectives that you could do. So I shouldn't have been surprised that they were gonna possibly try to reboot it again. So, but so right now I can't really go any further. And you're like, Mike, but go further. I can't because of the epoxy. Because I don't want to do the epoxy in the house. That's a go to the garage and do job to put in. Basically, like I said, these are going to go get cut down and get put in as supports on both sides to really build up the strength of the model. So the model's got to be really nice and strong for this to work. So I'm gonna get that out of the way. So basically I am at a stopping point with the Galactica for tonight. And looking at the time, it's almost been an hour, but you know what? We still got some time to work. But you guys can see this thing is going to be a massive bear What are your guys' thoughts on it? Should I keep going with this one on the stream? Is this something you want to continue to watch? Is this one just kind of a meh, you know? What's your guys' inputs on her? So I mean, this is gonna be one mean looking ship when it's done. And you know me, when I go big, I go big. And this is kind of I didn't get to make a Halloween costume project this year. So all right, well, unfortunately the next step is off camera. But when we come back, I will have this one big hull piece solid. So this piece will be one solid chunk. We'll be ready to easily adhere to these, which will also give support to the main body as well, because these two will connect back here. This one will be connected up here, so it'll also help bridge. But in all honesty, the ship's going to be sitting on these, which is part of the problem. That puts a ton of weight on these pressure points right here. So not only do I have to make sure the backbone is strong, I have to make sure my connection point here is strong, which may wind up being, I may have to do a pin and peg system in these and have basically a pin that'll slide in to actually give a little bit of additional support, along with some 3D printed welds. I think will make this one look really, really nice. So, but yeah, man, I can't even keep her in the camera's view. I'm sorry, guys. She's way off over there. But you can see it's just off the mat. It's I don't know what I'm thinking here. Oh man, I am kind of going crazy on this one. So, but yeah, we're gonna get the live streams hopefully back a little bit more stable. I do know the 24th of October there will be no live stream. I may post a video. I'm gonna ask it here. You guys are here. Would a video on what I use to make videos with be helpful? Just a little side spot. I use this device to make my YouTube videos. Oh, the underside? Oh. There's her belly. Then actually when this goes on, you guys can see it's gonna definitely be a bit of a support game getting that just right. It's gonna be a little hard, so definitely gonna be some cursing, some clamps, a few other things as we go through trying to make this work as one big solid ship. But the support is definitely going to be key, because basically all that weight is going to sit right where my hand is, because it's going to have to hold up this big booty, and you're going to have this big front end to work with. So there's going to be a lot here that's going to have to be held up. So no, didn't lose any detail. Some of the detail is going to get replaced nowadays, like the guns. I'm not happy with how they look when I've got some models for the actual guns from the Galactica. So I may print, smooth that off, put a magnet in there, and actually put the guns that maybe can turn. So definitely some thought process and stuff to go on. Still some supports to remove. I just noticed those. That's a never-ending battle as you go through with a 3D print. You always find something. So, but like I said, support should just pop.
If your supports aren't popping, you've gone too hard. Because they should just pop away. Just like that. So, yeah. There she is, guys. Well, guys, I appreciate you all joining tonight. My voice is starting to go. So, unfortunately, that's kind of the name of the game here. The voice is starting to run out. So, hopefully you guys have enjoyed the stream. Next week, I plan on having this piece in one solid chunk as we come back. And we'll hopefully have the screen issue sorted out to where I can start doing some Cura work and some Fusion 360. So, like I said at the beginning of the stream, this is purposely done. I want to print a separate piece with extreme resin detail to really make these sections like this pop. Especially back here around the engine sections, I did the same thing. I just want to make them pop, so they were gapped. You can see it here too. Basically, I cut off that part of the print and left it open. So definitely some areas to work on, have fun with, and we are going to do just that. So yeah. If you guys are new here, just checking this out, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're a current subscriber, you are much appreciated, and I thank you very much for being here. Definitely leave the comment down below, help the video get some traction out there on the YouTubes, and make sure you hit that likes button, because everybody deserves a good like every once in a while, right? So what we're going to do tonight, kind of recapping what was going on. So you guys can see I took the main hull of the Pegasus and I took it to primer during the week. I was having a hard time really seeing a lot of the fleshed out details on it. So that's why I went ahead and took it to black primer. I want to do some paint testing with it. So, but you can kind of see basically when I took it to the black, a lot of detail really kind of started popping out. There's more places I need to clean. That I just couldn't really see that well with it being white. So the primer definitely kind of helped out with that. So that's all I've really done to these two pieces is taking it to primer. And then we're going to take a look at the pods here. We've got a huge seam we got to take care of. And I'm having a debate with myself. So I'm bringing it to the stream of I'm thinking about doing the pods and I'm hoping that these will be strong enough. I was thinking about magnetically trying to attach the pods to the main hull with 2 magnets in each piece here. That way, if I needed to transport it or sell it or box it up to ship, the pods pop right off. And it will also make it a lot easier to paint this thing with the pods being able to come on and off. But kind of having a debate with myself on that. So definitely if you're here live in the chat, tell me what you think. If you are not here and you're watching this on the replay, definitely leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. If I should go with the magnetics. Now the main hull is going to get pieced together. So it's going to be one solid piece just like that. And look pretty darn good, I think. The black really helped, but I do want to do just some paint sampling tonight to try to kind of figure out what's going to be kind of the best real color for her. Well, the problem is those magnets are a little too big to have 4. They would pull each other, and I think they would actually damage the model if I did 4, because there would be 6 magnets total to put that on, and these are not that heavy. So, because these are, so if you get, well, it's coming up, I'm actually doing a video on this. This whole wall over here is nothing but hobby zone. Let me see if I can turn this. So you guys can see the Hobby Zone stack is real, even with the paint wall there, and all of that organization has come into play. Now I'm probably going to regret doing that, but that's all right. Get the camera reoriented here after showing that. There we go. So basically those were left over from all of that. Now we're going to, basically they're leftovers. They're pretty strong magnets. I think I may do 3, but I'll have to find the right drill bit size and all of that to ensure that I'm getting them locked into place. And making sure, you know, just that they look good is going to be kind of a kicker to kind of roll with. So that's something definitely going to have to do. But tonight, like I said, we got gap filling and paint testing tonight. And probably will so yeah, these are my bigger ones. So the magnets, while they look small, they are powerful little suckers. They're deep. Try to get it up there. And I think you're actually maybe right. 3 per pylon may be the best way to go here. I've got plenty, so I'm not worried about numbers. I'm definitely not going to go with these itty bitties. These guys are teeny. They're nothing compared to these big boys. And the box in here has even smaller that I reserve for these guys when I want to have interchangeable weapons. But that's all for another time. So, so basically, we're going to do the nasty stuff first. Oh, get some Q-tips. So, Douglas, how you been doing? Hopefully it's been a good week for you so far. It has been a week. I'm already ready for the weekend, even though I will be traveling. Oh. I know, Tamia Putty. I haven't used you since St. Louis. You have been missed. So far, so good for a week. That's awesome. It's amazing how just a little bit of putty can make something look so much better. Oh, nice. Newer furniture is always an awesome thing. Recliners are great, are heavenly. Since I suffer so bad from allergies, I wind up sleeping in one quite a bit. So I totally know what you mean by recliners are great. Basically what I'm doing right now is just the initial spread, trying to fill the gap. Then there's probably going to be a layer or two of these come in to really fill this gap out. But it's just kind of one of those things. Like I said, I'm trying to keep as much work on this 3D print on the stream as possible. So like primering, yeah, you guys, yeah, that's boring. Mike has to go outside currently and do work. So I'm not inside yet to where I can primer. That's got to get finished though. So putty has definitely its place. So like this one, I probably could have come in here with a 3D printing pen and filled that gap, but yeah, it's kind of one of those things. Turn lights down a little bit more, see if I can get this to stop being so whitewashed. There we go, that's better. All fails, turn light off. Yeah, the hulls in a model kit of a warship like that, they're always difficult. Drive me a little insane sometimes. Getting that, especially when they don't make it one piece, and they make it that multi-piece that you got to try to fit the red line to the mid hull. That always drives me nuts when that happens. But my trick that I do when I have ships like that is hot water. I soak both pieces of plastic in hot water. I treat it like a resin print that's bent. That way they get warm and they're a little bit more malleable, to help kind of get the lines closer together. That way I don't have as much puttying to do. Yeah? Anywhere interesting, Douglas, that you applied to? So this is just Tamiya. It's just the Tamiya basic putty that I'm using here. Just getting it good into the grooves. Using a Q-tip to basically make sure I get a smooth lay. That way when I come back with the sanding stick, this is laid down really nice. The gap disappears. eBay customer service. Ooh. So when someone's gets me to bid on an auction and then don't pay me, don't send me the item, you're the one I get to call. That's never happened. Thankfully, that's never happened. I did acquire some new model kits recently that I'm looking forward to getting started on. Whoops. I'll have to clean that up later. It's all right. Just trying to get this line to disappear as much as I can in reality. Cotton swab is starting to give up. About time to switch to a new one. I've spent my time in a call center, Douglas. I don't know if I could go back to that, to be honest. If I had to, I would. But I don't really want that part of my career ever back again. I remember there were some days in the call center I worked in, I probably handled 60 calls in an 8-hour period. And I was IT tech support. My big model warships were back in the early and late 90s. Nothing wrong with remote positions. Nothing at all wrong with remote positions. Surprised eBay would offer a remote position, to be honest with you. But we do live in a modern time, and companies need to realize, you know, there is an advantage to keeping your employee at home, especially good ones. All right, we will let those dry. So the Tamiya putty usually takes a few hours to really harden up. Once it hardens up, I'll give it a little bit of a sand with some sand sticks, and then I will I'll take a look at what's the word I'm looking for. I'll use the sand sticks, then I will kind of gauge it, probably come back with a second layer, and then yeah. But I will plan on having the right drill bits and stuff next week to do the magnets, because that will make life a lot easier, having those, like I said, magnetically. I can build the main hole, have the magnets sitting here, and it's prime time to put the magnets in while I've got it separated, so that way I can actually mount the magnets, have them in there, and then be able to just magnetically connect it. Or say if I miss something painting wise, I can always take it off and rework it. I do still want to grind these down and put the larger guns on, especially up here. I think it's going to make a huge detail enhancement. So, but hey, let's play with some paint. Well, actually, let's play with some Vipers first. I've been meaning to clean these up. Handy dandy mold line remover, which Citadel is releasing a new one of these. But I love it because it's a tool that you can give to a small child and they're not going to cut themselves. But as you can see, I quickly just took that burr, just like how that one has a burr, right off that wing. So it is a handy dandy tool to clean up a print. Nice and easy, just like that. That wing got a little bent up. I'll have to take some heat to it. But even this one, I mean, you can see I'm just cleaning it right off. So, yeah, nice and clean. So, wings nice cleaned up. So probably what I'll do is, now that we're scraping these clean, I will endeavor to get these primered. Print what, Lorenzo? Which one? The Pegasus or the Vipers? So the Pegasus herself was printed all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of the Pegasus were all printed. The Viper, this was just done on a little Ender 3. I think I did one on the Ender 3 and I did one on the Odin, on the Focus Odin 5. Simple little prints, just printed them just like that, so it raised up and gave me a nice consistent print from here. That way all the supports were all just right here. That way it was a quick, easy pop off. I do plan on trying to find some Vipers for resin land to try to make some Vipers and Raptors for the shuttle pods, for the flight deck pods, but no guarantees on that one, because you can enhance or shrink things certain levels and gain or lose, you know, quality. And I don't want to give up quality if I don't have to. So, and definitely it's one of these, the Mark 7s, which is what these are the ones that I'll need for the peg, for the mighty peg, otherwise known as the Beast. Always keep a good clean work area. So the Vipers, next thing for the Vipers will be primer. That'll let me kind of look at what holes, gaps, stuff like that is. That way I can come in with the putty, really sand it up, make it look good, and kind of get things going on. One of the things I do, you guys saw me using the gray putty on the white pods. When I go to the black stuff and I'm puttying, I use the Mr. White putty. That way I can see where I'm working and what I'm working on. So I buy this off Amazon. It's from Mr. Hobby. Works really well. Just like the Tamiya, just a different color as we go on here and put on different colors. So I am actually going to grab the engine section for this because I want to do some paint testing. Where is my greedy gold? I must have put all of them away. How dare I? Okay. Oh, a little bit of disorganization. Never hurt anybody. Not once. Alright, so there's a couple. Oh, I put them up here. I don't want shining silver. Tainted gold. No, no, no. That's not them. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to find a specific color here real quick. Gunmetal. Shining silver's no bueno. Alright. So the Pegasus is usually a very nice gray. Hey Shaka, welcome back. That's because I just haven't been that consistent with my lives either, so it's not your fault at all. I just haven't been keeping up, and unfortunately, well, I don't know about next Tuesday. So we will see, because next Tuesday I'm traveling. So we will kind of see how the days go. Now, of course, any painting, you want a good wet palette, which we've got right here from Redgrass. Let's see here. Get that. Let's get my cleaning cup and some distilled water, which I'm starting to get low on. I think I got another gallon floating around here somewhere. All right, let's do some paint testing. And actually, we may play with some of the new Citadel paints here in a little bit too. So, like I said, a lot of this is going to get painted over. Well, all of this is going to get painted over, so I don't really care what shows through. So that is dark sea gray, which I kind of am feeling. Gotta love those paint shakers. Uh-oh. Think we got a plugged one. I got a tool for that. So, easy way to fix a plug is to unplug it. Paper clips are handy dandy tools. There we go. So I think this natural steel we will use in some areas, but I have a feeling it's just going to be too bright because it's just raw steel. So it definitely is a bright metallic color. Sample some more here. Gunmetal is always usually a really nice go-to. Sometimes I overuse gunmetal, so definitely kind of a good big panel here to touch into. Silver, natural steel. I'm feeling dark silver is going to be probably too much. This is just kind of the base hull color I'm looking for right now. So this is going to be the color that gets the main spray down on top of the primer. Shaka, things have been going good. Finally moved to the new house, getting everything put back together, getting this all going again. This is always a trial sometimes to get everything lined out. That's going to be probably too much, too bright. If you guys have a color suggestion you'd like to see, definitely let me know. So, kind of looking at the color, I'm really liking the dark silver and the gunmetal more than the gray, the natural steel, which I probably will still use the natural steel. The dark silver and the gunmetal are definitely giving me more of the core base color I'm looking for. The gunmetal is from AK. It is from their metallic modeling color collection. So AK Paints, a good friend of mine, Joe, he definitely led me onto these. They have some really good vibrant colors. They can be a little hard to find, but definitely some good vibrant colors. Now, one thing I do want to do today is play with a contrast real quick. Because this whole thing is going to get, whatever base color I kind of choose here, the whole ship is going to get pretty much doused in it. But I've been kind of itching to try Citadel's new contrast Imperial Yellow. And you're probably sitting there going, why Imperial Yellow? Where are you putting yellow on a Pegasus? Well, I want to see how it lays down on the black, even though the black is not going to be its base color. Again, this is a contrast, so it's probably not going to lay great, but I want to try it. Yeah, I didn't think it would lay down very well. I'm going to have to, so basically I need to fill and smooth this to give the ship's crest definitely a much better lay down. So I'm not overly thrilled with the way that laid. I'm gonna need to go probably with a brown and then come over with a yellow or a gold. So the dark silver, so actually I'm gonna be honest, here's what I'm thinking. So what I'm thinking is I'm gonna do the main hull all in gunmetal. Then I'm going to probably come back with this darker silver and do a lot of the contrasting with it and do patterning, Aztec patterning across the hull. So I may use this gunmetal as the base. I'm really liking the way the gunmetal set down. The gray looks like I'm just meh. That natural steel is just too bright, in my opinion. Now, like the natural steel, I could see using that on the gun barrels and some purples and yellows to kind of give the patina of I've been fired. I've kind of got that grime on me. But basically, I think I'm going to go with the gunmetal and then come in the seam lines with the darker steel to kind of give a pop. And I'm going to do red. I'm going to find a... Now that we've done that, so this is kind of one of the things I do with the model kit, guys. Whether it's a 3D print or a model kit, I do paint testing. I want to see how these colors are going to look sitting on the model. Wine red. I'm going to try wine red here real quick over the gunmetal real quick. Now, you notice I'm shaking it. I do have a mixer over here, but you can hear it's loud, so I don't use it all that much. But we'll get this thing kind of shaken up here a little bit. And we need my bottle unclogger, whatever I've done with it. Sorry about that, guys. Sneeze is trying to get away from me and I don't want it to. Basically, I'm looking at it. The black wash is kind of one of those things I've got to definitely be careful with. And one of the things I'll do, especially with these bigger panel lines, is I will come in with the panel line accent black. Depending on where I am on the ship, I may even come in with just the dark gray to kind of give another pop and wash. Because one of the things, like I mentioned, I want to make this ship look like it's been beaten. There's going to be rust in spots, stuff like that. I've got my, pull this out, I've got my wonderful weathering stuff ready to go. So I'm just itching to get to that part. So I got a brand new rust one just for that purpose. So, but I'm curious to see which one the red lays next to better too. So, and one of the things to kind of keep in mind, I'm not thinning the paints out right now either. I'm just going in hardcore with the paint color. I'm not thinning it. When I paint, I probably will thin this quite a bit. There will probably be some sponge work involved to give more of a texture and make this kind of a stronger. And to me, that red doesn't fit. I feel like it's too bright. But you're right, JJ. I could easily come in with that and just wash over it with an enamel wash and really kind of drag the color down. One of the things too I want to keep in mind is I don't want to make the ship too dark either. I mean, she stood out. She was bright. So it is one of those things to keep in mind. I am going to pull out, we're going to try a deep red. And I do subscribe to multiple different types of paint, guys, not just the AK. I did not shake that up well enough. but I have a feeling it's going to be way too bright. I'm kind of looking around to see what else I've got. Because what I'll do is I'll kind of map this out. That's why I'm playing with the colors. So when it gets go time, once I'm happy with all the filler and smoothing and all that, I can just start coming in with colors. I've got a plan. I know what I want to do. This is one of the hardest parts about, to me, model kitting or 3D printing and finishing a model, is this planning phase. So like I said, this is all going to disappear. This is going to get painted under. So that's why I'm just kind of playing with the colors right now to get a really nice dry. And that's why I'm kind of painting large. I kind of just really don't care about straight lines and stuff right now. I'm just testing it out. Now this red drying has actually grown on me. This one has, to me, a lot of orange highlight to it, but maybe we got to let it dry. So like the natural steel drying is actually kind of pulling me a little bit more. It's definitely got a good shine, where I could also come, basically what I may do is come in with this as the base color and then Aztec pattern with the gunmetal. So because basically there's going to be one main wash, there's going to be Aztecing, basically patterns going over the hull. Then we've got certain areas where this red will be like around the flight pods, which is why I'm thinking about doing magnetics. I'm going to spray the base color, JJ. I'm not doing this all by hand. So I will spray the base color, and probably what I'll do is create a couple cards for the Aztec pattern. Just lay the card, spray, move the card, and to do the Aztecing really quickly. I'll basically make some templates for the Aztecing. So I do plan to kind of play with that more and more, and do a second coat of this red just to kind of get a feel. Now it's kind of dried. It's the one thing I like about AK paints too. They dry fairly quick. They're really good acrylic, and I love acrylic paints. They work really well. I'm actually going to do another coat of that other red too. Really get a feel for the color. It's definitely more of a violet laying down like that. Actually, now that I'm actually starting, you guys have convinced me, I'm starting to lean towards the natural steel more. I'm going to lay down the red next to the violet steel here. Yep, it'll be basically what I do a lot of times. I may use the Cricut and actually create a vinyl stencil, or I may just take a index card and use that. So you get a totally different feel for these colors with the different steels. But honestly, with the dark metals, the wine red is winning for me. What are your guys' thoughts? I feel like the deep red is it's more orange. Oh yeah, JJ, I don't want to work on this forever. No bueno mic work on this forever. No, I want this to be... Ooh! Sorry about that. Oh. My holder popped off. I want this to be... You know, it's going to take a few weeks to work on, but we're going to work on other stuff too. So there's definitely projects in the pipe. Actually, if you guys stick with me here in a little bit, I'm going to show you some of the resin prints that have been coming out of the print shop. Because now we're almost... Everything's ready for the recording. So... looking for a color, and I'm not seeing what I want to see. I'll have to look for it later. I thought there was another one I had that will look kind of cool. Awesome. JJ, have a good one. So, yeah, definitely. The steel intrigues me. The gray, it's out. The dark silver feels too dark. The gunmetal may be just right. But the nice thing about this natural steel is I can weather it, which helps out a lot. So definitely an idea to play with. Definitely an idea to play with. Let's see what else we got here. Huh. So many choices, so little time. Oh, I wanted to look at plate mail from Army Painter. Well, stick around, Douglas. You'll, or Shaka, you'll see some pretty cool stuff here in a little bit, because what's back on that table are a lot of figures. One, and a couple of them I'm pretty proud of. And they're all heading with me next week to St. Louis, or later this week to St. Louis, to a gentleman that has asked for them and will be painting them. So... this is plate mail silver from Army Painter. I don't know, YouTube is not helping with the color differences. No, I didn't, Douglas. Shh, 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 shh. It's still upstairs. That's the side that I have not gotten really rolling yet, is the FDM side. So, unfortunately, that is the side that is not really cooking with gas yet. Resin, we're full bore. But, alright, so silver is out. That's too bright. Gunmetal is a keep. Dark steel is a keep. And natural steel. And then I think I'm going to stick with the wine red. The gray, it can go back home. We're not going to use it. Let's see what the plate mail steel looks like. The deep red, you're out. All else fails. It's acrylic. Blow on it. So that definitely comes in a bit darker as well. That natural steel is still winning. Yeah, I think natural steel's... I think what we'll do is natural steel for the bulk. We'll come in with the dark silver in these lines like this. And in here we can come in with the gunmetal to create a pop accent. And and use the gunmetal and dark silver on top of the natural steel to really accent the ship. So I think we have found the base 4 colors. So sorry, gunmetal and plate mail steel, you guys are going back to your homes. Did I not get you from up here? I apparently did not. So we'll put that away. In certain areas of this, I plan to come in with chipping medium and definitely kind of make it look like she's been worn, some of the paint's melted away and stuff like that too. And then come in with the rust, like in these areas where there's large connectors and stuff like that, and you see little bits of rust on the paint. So, and I'm not necessarily saying this is going to be the Pegasus. This may be our own ship. We may give it a name. So, and we'll keep going. So, yeah. All right. So, definitely some good colors there. We know our reds. The engine section is going to have some unique coloring that we got to work around. So, because we've got mechanisms, we've got icons that may have a ring of blue, different things like that. And then once I finish the pieces to actually go in here and fill this in, we'll have a lot of mechanical colors to do. I got some scoop work to do here, but those are all actually looking pretty good. So yeah, there's definitely still a lot to go. But for now, I'm gonna set her off to the side because I promised to show you guys some of the resin prints I've been doing lately. So we've got our base colors. I'm gonna leave that in the wet palette because it keeps it usable, keeps it happy. And we all want that. So resin prints. Oh, let me get both pieces here. So this is one that's come off my resin printer. This is the Sonic Mega 8K. So a really nice bust of Master Chief. This one's really cool. It's out on CG Trader. It's really cool because if you don't want the face, you can just put the helmet on. So definitely kind of a really neat bust. This one's going with me to St. Louis for my friend Joe. He's gonna paint him up and make him look awesome. Oh. Here's another one of Iron Fist. So it came out really, really well. Take the base away so you can actually kind of look down and see the detail. I did break a piece, but nothing a little glue can't fix to put that back together. But this is all one piece. Printed in one piece, one print, and just some awesome detail on it. So it is going to be a fabulous paint job that he does on this. I'm really looking forward to it. So these are some of the stuff coming out of my printer. So far though, what I think is the best thing that's come out of my printer lately is this Sam Elliott. You guys can see the detail is just gorgeous. That 8K resolution on the printer just does beautiful work and just gets in there with the hair and everything else. I'm really curious to see the print job on this one, the paint job. Then the hat, of course, had to be printed because it's Sam Elliott, so, and it just sits right on. So everything looks, I'm quite happy with the way that looks. There's a myriad more coming off the printer still right now because I'm trying to get a bunch of these printed. so I can take them with me to St. Louis when I leave later this week. So definitely a lot going on. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed tonight's stream. I know it's late. Everybody has stuff that they can do. But I do appreciate everybody for showing up and coming out and taking a look and helping with our Pegasus class vessel as we continue to really start kind of going down the color scheme. Next week, or not next week, next stream, we'll work on the magnets. Yeah, the Spider-Man one would probably be really cool. I've got an Iron Man one that I'm just waiting for the legs to print. And it's from, Wicked is the model creator, but it stands about like that. So it's going to be a pretty good size print when it's done. 400 some odd millimeter, I think, is what the print size is. So definitely kind of one of those things. It's a big print. It's the legs failed once already, but everything else printed. So I'm having to do a reprint, but whoopie-doo, that happens. I mean, resin gives you beautiful prints. I mean, this is an Enterprise refit or a Constitution class refit that I did in resin. This is only a 4K resolution print, but it just came out gorgeous. So definitely a lot of cool things that you can do. One of those things too, guys, make sure you're over following me on Instagram. Go out there and make sure you're on TikTok, because I am posting over there as well. Just make sure you're following me on the other social media, because you'll see pictures of that stuff before you probably will see it here. So kind of keep that in mind as we're going through and doing this kind of stuff. You'll see really cool stuff popping up over there as well. So keep that in mind. But make sure you guys hit that like button if you enjoyed the stream. And thanks for helping me choose the colors that our Pegasus class will have. And down in the comments down below, when this becomes a video, let's start throwing out some good names for our Pegasus class. So luckily I've got a Cricut, so we can probably pretty easily make some nameplates. So the monstrosity is taking over the desk. I have assembled the Pegasus after some discussion from the last stream. Sorry guys, I'm fighting something nasally. I don't know what it is. But I went ahead and assembled it. And the reason why I went ahead and assembled it was, one, I was tired of the parts all laying around, but two, when I tried to assemble here, I realized that these actually adhering on supported the whole connection as well. So no magnets, straight adhered to the ship. So she's in one piece, and that, you know, and primered and colored. So I changed the initial color scheme. I went with lead belcher from Citadel because, well, conveniently I had it in a can, in a rattle can, so I was able to just layer the entire thing real quick, which this is huge model. Hey Doug, how's it going? It's a huge ship, huge model. So basically I went with black primer, and then I came back with the lead belcher, and you guys can see the variations in the gray, creating the detail, pulling out some of the details. So now we're able to start working on some of the color, kind of start working along that route to kind of make her more look like the ship of the line that we aim for. So, but basically tonight I want to get some base color on here. We're going to look at some other ones that have been done out there, kind of get some inspiration. Because like I said, I wasn't going for, this is a brand new ship off the dry dock. This is a ship that's seen some stuff. So I want to make sure that I'm kind of doing that. I want to make sure I'm working on the weathering. Uh-oh, I hit something. I bought some AK weathering pencils to give a shot. I kind of want to play with these, so we probably won't be this stream, because probably what I'll do is I want to do some base painting to this, get the reds on here, kind of start looking at what I want to do possibly for the Aztec pattern. I need to come in with a darker silver or gray in this ring back here. I want to lay down a brown so I can get a real nice yellow laid down for the medallion. and start just kind of working my way through the colors of the ship to get kind of a base. And then once I have that base, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to seal it. That way we can start really kind of having fun with the weathering on top. And if I mess up, guess what? I can just erase it because it's on varnish. So kind of a cool, fun thing with that. So I want to start bringing in the reds, this darker silver to just maybe even just a dark gold gray to differentiate the panels back here on the engines. I need to come through with a darker gray here to do that. But as always, kind of one of those things, when you're looking at something like this, you want to get, hey Angus, welcome to the stream. You want to kind of look around what everybody else is doing, kind of get some inspiration. So we're going to do just that. So this is one by Jerry Griffith that is his Triton model. You can see he's gone into some great detail in regard to the Aztec pattern and all the different panels being different colors. That's one I've been kind of looking at. I love the use of the red back here on the engines. You can't see me pointing at the engines right now. What am I doing? So there's definitely some great levels for doing the detail. Gave me a probably saving grace idea for within the shuttle pods, because these are hollow all the way through on the landing pods. Basically a paper airstrip, and get that adhered in there to kind of give that pod some detail. So it's kind of a cheat, but it may be the only way I'm able to get that detail down in there. So, and another one I was looking at that I found online was this one. It's not as sharp. I think this is actually from Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, but we'll definitely have the red up here. I've got to make a front panel plate still to really kind of bring it, because I really want to capture this detail on the front. I've also been trying to shrink down some Vipers to possibly put in the bays. Then this is one of the last ones I was looking at, but it's pretty blasé. But you can see what I mean by the darker gray on the back panels of the engines back here and that kind of stuff to really kind of make this look a little bit sharper. But I want to come in definitely across the top here with that darker gray to kind of get that worked out in there. So these are just kind of some of the inspiration ideas out there. Where do I go for inspiration? Well, Pinterest is always a great place to find interesting images of these ships and see what's out there, what other people are doing. Pinterest is always great. Instagram is awesome. Of course, Googling will turn up all kinds of stuff for you. But just kind of take a look around, see what other people are doing with these models. Here's one that's out. Whoop, that's just out on Etsy that someone's done. Very nice gray, looks really good. Actually, this is my friend JJ Modeling, James. He's got one out here for sale where he's definitely done the weathering look for the ship and really made it look kind of cool. So, but with that said, let's hop back over and start working on the girl herself. So what I'm thinking for the reds, I'm going to come in dark with AK's wine red, and then come back with kind of a layer of transparent to kind of pull the detailing out of that plate a little bit, give it some depth. So that's where we're going to start. So I'm going to endeavor to make enough space to get where I'm going to start in the shot here. Did I go too far with this model, guys? I really kind of think I did. I think I went way too big here. Oh, but basically here, the front of the flight pods are all red. So definitely want to kind of pull into that. Grab the handy dandy wet palette and start shaking up some colors here. Love that auto paint shaker. Love it to death. And I'm just going to get a good little start on here and start bringing this girl some color. I don't want to choose too big of a paintbrush, so probably going to start with a Magic Fly Round 0. It's not too thin, not too thick of a brush, but with this big of a plate, this brush will make it go real quick. So like right now, all I'm doing is just a base coat. I want to make the ship look good, get kind of the detail popped out, like these recessed areas here. I'm going to come in with some darker gray gunmetal, give them some depth before I start really kind of pulling in the deeper colors here. So probably what I'm going to do tonight is get kind of the base color through here, especially from this res. Hindu, hello. UK, India, wow. We're getting all over the place tonight. Awesome. Just kind of brush in the detail here a little bit. I'm not overly worried about shadows right now. Like I said, this is just kind of base coating. We'll come back in with that shadowing here in a little bit with the transparent and the contrast. So right now it's just giving her her base colors. And what I'm going to try, since this is Citadel Lead Belcher as the base coat, because I wanted to do the natural steel that we all kind of talked about. Douglas, you probably remember this, that we kind of all really liked last stream 2 weeks ago before I went traveling. But ironically, I'm still waiting on it to arrive. I ordered 3 bottles of it because I intended to airbrush it into the model, and yeah, I'm still waiting on it. So that's what prompted my decision to go with what I had in abundance, which was the Lead Belcher as a lower base coat to really give it some darkness. And actually, painting it on, it's definitely dark. It's definitely going to need the lightening of the other colors. Oh, the Cobra? Oh, I'm jealous. I've been wanting to try out the Cobra. I have been in printer fix-it mode lately with my CR10s. I'm waiting on some parts right now to arrive. My transfer boards for my hot end. One of them blew and I had to get a new one. That's awesome though on the Cobra. I'm hoping you're really enjoying it. I've heard good things about the Cobra, definitely over the Chiron, but I have not had the opportunity to try the Cobra myself. So you definitely have to check in with us in a few weeks and let us know what you think of it. After definitely getting some print time under your belt there. Because with the Cobra, you'll be able to make pretty much what I've got on the table here. So, because this was done with a CR10 Max. And I'm still, I've been trying to find my video from where the time lapse of this one, of this big one being printed. I'm hoping to find that so I can throw a video out and put this all into a playlist of all these parts, because I have a feeling this is probably going to stretch maybe to 5 on here of us just painting and building her. So we will see. We will see how far this one goes. So if it's being hard to get it off the build plate, so is it a glass build plate, Hindu, or is it like the PEI, or is it glass? So because that will change your options about getting it off. And what material are you using? Are you using PLA, PETG? Kind of give us a little fill in the question there a little bit. So glass beds can be a pain, especially with PETG, to get parts off. So one trick I use is cooling the plate. So that will usually work a lot of times. So what I mean by cooling the plate is I'll just I'll throw it in the refrigerator or the freezer and cool the plate off. That way I can really pop the model off easily. But you may also want to just check your height. You may have the nozzle a little too close and that's smashing it into the plate, causing it to be basically too tight and not easy to pop off. But oftentimes with me, cold works really well on almost any material. I'm just trying to get a good clean line. A little awkward angle, but not too awkward. To definitely kind of get the bays painted in here. But no, that's awesome that the Cobra's working well for you. That's always my concern with new printers, is how well it's going to go. And you know, not everybody has the same experience. Some people, they get new printers and they're great for a few months and then they break. Matter of fact, I think I had someone asking me a question about one today about my experience over time with the Odin that I need to go respond to yet. Because the Odins are my favorite little printers. Well, let's be honest, my true favorite printer right now is the Frozen Mega 8K. I'm doing so much cool stuff with that one. I wish I had more prints finished that I could show tonight, but unfortunately I didn't. I love the AK paint sharpness. I just kind of love the way that it lays down. And one thing I'm definitely going to have to keep in mind as we do this is, you notice there's a dent right here. So what I'm thinking happened is when I moved, that got hot and it warped. But I'm going to use that to my advantage. It's going to be a battle damage spot. Hindu, mesh mixer is a great way to cut the file. A lot of people, especially those Shin ones, I had problems with them too, and I wound up having to cut mine. I didn't realize it until after I printed it. A lot of people will cut those into 3 pieces and then kind of treat them like a shin guard for soccer. is a cool thing that I've seen done before. So there's a lot of neat ways to do that. But Mesh Mixer, free software. It's out there for anybody to use. Definitely a great way to get your files cut up on your own. And actually, I think I got a video out there on how to do just that. So not with Stormtrooper parts, but you know, just how to do a cut and make the files. So but yeah, definitely. And tonight for the video, I'm just going to work on the top side. I'll flip it over and I'll do probably the bottom side off camera. That way we're just kind of caught up. But one of the other things I'm going to talk about tonight is we're going to talk about the guns here in a little bit. We're going to make some better. I mean, these are okay, but come on. There's better guns out there, right? Right. So we're going to talk about some resin printing for some really nice looking guns for this ship. And again, the question goes out, and if you're rewatching the stream or if you're watching it now, put it in the comments. What should we name this ship? Doesn't have to be Pegasus. This is ours. We're all doing this together on the stream, everybody watching. So be thinking of a name and put it down in the comments down below. Keep it clean. That's the only thing I have, my only rule. And I will choose a name. And we will name the ship that. I appreciate that, Hindu. I try to be inspirational on stuff because that Stormtrooper armor, man, that was a daunting project when I did it. But I was also, you know, pushing the clock with Halloween and all that too when I made mine. So it was kind of nice to just have Halloween this year and not be wearing some weird uncomfortable armor or something like that. So definitely projects are in the mind for this coming next year. I probably will go with what I had planned to do this year is just some Halo Spartan armor, but we will see. My mind could be swayed to something else depending on what shows are released and stuff this coming year. So been trying to hang in there with Andor. I don't like admitting that I'm kind of having a hard time with it, but I know we got to be building up to something cool. So kind of curious to what it will be. Back to look at the inspirational photos that I had here for a second. I feel like she needs more red in her, but I'll behave myself right now. Just kind of keep working through it here, giving her some good color. Then, like I said, I'm just kind of trying to get some of the base colors on. Then I'm gonna take it outside this week and I will varnish it. I'll give it a matte varnish probably, and then I will be ready to come back next week and start weathering this, is my hope. We will see. We will see. The Chimera. It's an interesting name. It is kind of cool just how a little bit of color can just change the way how this feels. Alright. Get onto the shuttle pod here. Or landing bay. Landing pod. Fighter pod. I don't know what it is anymore. But this is kind of one model kind of going through my head right now. I really kind of want to get back onto a Star Trek kick. But I got so many cool models that are just not really canon that people have mentioned, and I've gotten the models for it, I just haven't tried to print them yet. The Pantheon. So we got Chimera and Pantheon so far. Almost there. A little bit more to go with this red, and then we'll switch off to a different color here. Oh. But you guys can tell, I mean, this thing is, the nose is up in my armpit, and I'm touching the end. So, I mean, this thing is it's right about 38 inches. So, just having it on my desk is a lot of space. So, let's see here. So what else can we talk about? So the guns. I found a really cool file out on Thingiverse, and since I didn't do the fighter bays magnetics like I'd originally planned because of the structural issue. Ooh, the Artemis. That's an interesting name. Definitely got our Greek theme on today, don't we? These straight edges can sometimes be gnarly to get comfortable with. I'm already seeing some touch-ups now that this is starting to dry. Destiny's Hand. You guys know you're giving me a reason to try out the Cricut to fabricate the nameplate, right? All right. So we got a good base layer of the red. Let's deal with in here. So I want to really darken this spine through here. I want to get my brush good and clean because I'm not going to use it a ton for this one, but for this spine darkening, what I'm going to start with is one of my favorite. Andromeda. Oh yeah. I don't know, Andromeda Ascendant might come after us on that one. So I love Proacryl's Dark Silver. Great color, especially for an underlaying darkening. It sticks with the silver, and I just love the look of this color. And I'm actually going to just be horrible here and make some people cringe by doing that. And then coming back in with this bigger brush. And just pull that bead of paint all the way down. So I'm getting crazy up in here. But what that's done, by pulling it the way I did, it's going to continually thin down for me. As I pull through that part. And I kind of want that thin down. Because I don't want to do just flat slab the dark silver. I want to pull it down in here, but I don't want to do it the entire way. Fortunately, I need a little bit more to kind of help with the effect. Yeah. We'll kind of just brush it in, kind of giving a almost dry brushed effect into this frontal detail a little bit. And that's going to come into play later. But you can already kind of see how it's already stepping away from the model. And how it's already lightening, which I want it to lighten. Because of the light effect. Basically just looking at the way the light hits the model. I want that to be just enough different. It's almost like a dried brush effect here at the front, like it's been worn down almost. So now I'm going to take the same brush. I'm going to kind of start giving some highlight into this machinery kind of start creating an effect in here. That'll definitely start showing itself more later as we go through. So it's basically all I'm doing is pushing that dark into the lighter recesses here. And kind of pulling the material away. So I'm making that definitely kind of, the light's kind of not helping me a lot here. Yeah, it's not really helping me either. You definitely can see the distinction between the two. So it is creating an effect that will even make even more lighter as I start really Aztecing the detail in. I didn't want to go massively dark, but I didn't want to go overly light either. I love the Monument paint. I love their Pro Acryl line. The dark silver metallic just is fantastic to me. I struggle with their bottle design a little bit, but you know, can't win everywhere. It's way better than Citadel. I miss the old Citadel bottles. All right, so now we're gonna start getting ready for some of the crest here. I'm gonna stick with the larger brush, but I need a brown. Now, Mike, the crest is yellow and red. Yes, it is, but I want my yellow to pop. And one way that I've found to make yellow look goldish and really kind of pop out is brown. So I don't know what the scale is, Wolfgard. She's 38 inches long, and this was a 16-day print for all the parts. So, and quite frankly, there's some detail parts that I want to reprint. Actually, it's the first time I've used this bottle, so we're going to use the shaker over here. Make sure we get a good shake up. I'm going to come in with this goldish brown and just start getting a base layer and build this up to yellow, so that way I can come back with the red and make the symbol, or create a decal for the symbol. So if this comes out really dark, I really don't care right now. Or if it comes out thin, I'm not too worried about it, because this is an undercoat. Because the nice part is I'm going to lay down the yellow, but the red is going to become the outer circle. So I'm not overly worried about straightness right now. That's why I'm just going okay with the big brush, because I will be fixing it later. So, base layer for that is in place. Now, I want to work on this back engine pods a little bit. Alright. And guys, if you're not seeing something, or I'm not showing something, or you need an explanation, make sure you put it there in the notes, or leave me a comment if you're watching this afterward. So, that way I know to come back and leave some notes for you. Now, kind of want a dark muted gray for this next piece. And I may come in with just Russian blue base. So actually, we'll talk about the turrets here in a minute, Wolfguard. I have a plan for the turrets. And we'll switch over to that here in a minute. I want to take a look at this Russian blue. It may have what I want. If you guys are wondering what that sound is, I'm using a shaker. Press the bottle down and it will shake the paint for me, because I can be a little bit lazy sometimes, right? So, ooh, I think I like this. Let's get it on the model, take a look. Might be a little, it's going to be a little blue, but we can tone that in. Yeah, it's going to be a darker blue, but I bet I come back with a very nice gray that this is going to tone in really, really nice. I actually really kind of like that blue sitting on there. But we'll definitely have to tone it down to a little bit darker gray. I just kind of like the way that just kind of pops against it. What are your guys' thoughts? I think I am going to come back with a kind of a darker gold gray with the blue, and kind of let the blue shine through. Underneath the gray. So this may be this blue may not stay, but it may just be a pretty color to the ship. So the turrets. Let's start down that conversation, because I do have a unfortunate stop time tonight. So the turrets. I hate these turrets. Now for the 14-inch model, that if you download the model, which should be in the description, it's in the description of one of the three. If you download the model for this, it's a 14-inch print. 14 inches put together. I had one around here. I don't know what I did with it, because we've painted this. We've painted the original size model on the stream before, and you know, it's a beautiful print. I'm pretty sure this is 300 times what it used to be. So, and this blue that I'm using, it's the AK Russian Blue 11432. I'm actually liking how it kind of fits in here, kind of coming around with it with some, like I said, another gray to kind of dull it, but also let it shine through it. I think it's going to look really bloody nice. But the turrets, since I've blown it up, gives me some advantage. Because there are turret files out there for the Galactica and stuff like that on Thingiverse that actually look really, really cool. But the problem is, getting them down to the size of that model, the print just kind of barfs on you. And it fails in the resin printer and then just makes a mess and blah, 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 blah. Well, Mike, what are you going to do about it? Well, the cool thing about this size of ship at this scale is I can make them big. I can print them big enough that they're not going to look horrible on me. And that really kind of makes my day. So we are going to slice those and get them ready for my Saturn S here in a few moments. As soon as I get these lines kind of just crisped in there. And as I said, guys, I'm just working on the top on the stream. I'll paint the bottom off stream. So you guys don't have to just sit here and listen to me talking. All right. Yeah, sometimes I've noticed that they're off. And I've noticed too, like here, there's a gun on this pad, but there's not guns over here. So I'm gonna have to make that match, which is why I'm printing the guns too. But I did notice too, like right there, did not fit. The engines are not that far off, but here was off, and I've had to kind of make a fix there to this one. But I mean, that's what we started with. And that's how far we've come in just 45 minutes. I mean, just the color, bring in some weathering and stuff like that can make a model jump into your imagination. And yeah, definitely kind of already starting to jump forward. One of the things I will do is also the panel line stuff to really darken, like these grids in here, really darken them up, make them look a lot prettier. But the guns, since I've only got 15 minutes, or not even 15 minutes left of the stream, let's talk about the guns. And let me make sure I have that file. I don't have that up. Give me 1 second. We're going to pull that up. Because I want you guys to see the file. All right, let's switch over. All right. And here's the file out on Thingiverse. So it's actually called Battlestar Gun Unit. And yeah, it's got a lot of great detail to it. And you can see, unfortunately, when you print it really small in resin, it doesn't look great. I'm having to enlarge mine a little bit to fit my ship. So I've already pulled them down, and we'll hop over in the Shinto box. This is actually my Anycubic M3 plate. And you can see I've got a bunch of these guns on the build plate here. I've already worked up their supports, and actually I need to switch to my Saturn S. So it's going to be almost a full build plate, but these are going to look a lot better on the ship than these nubs that we see on that are printed into the model. When it's small and at the 14-inch scale, those look fine. This level, no. And what my plan is, I'm not even going to burnish down the bumps. I'm going to use them for the guns. And what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to drill a small hole in the top of the gun, and I'm going to use small magnets. That way, because the plan is this isn't going to stay with me. This is going to go up on sale out on my Etsy site. And this is going to go to hopefully someone that's watched the stream and wants to buy this thing. Because it's massive, but the guns will be magnetic. That way they can be safely packed and easily sent on its way. So I do plan on signing the underneath. You guys can see I've got wood panels to start building an actual base for this. Hey Drip, glad to see you. But right now my plan is I'm going to use Illigu standard resin, and we're going to print us some really nice looking guns. Hopefully they will build up well. I'm really concerned about the thin spot here, but I haven't had time to really take this back and look at it in some of the other programs to make sure that they'll build right. I did take this into Autodesk and make sure that that is a solid piece. for those 3, but who knows how these will turn out. So hopefully we will have these next week. It should not take long to print these. Let's go ahead and slice that. It shouldn't take overly long to print them, and you can tell I only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I need about 20 of them to be successful. I've got 30 on the build plate right there. It's a 5-hour job in the printer. Then you got wash, cure, and all that kind of stuff, which that's the washing. That's where I love the tea infusers. I can just put them all in there, throw it in the big tank, and let it wash with all the other stuff. So definitely a lot of progress on this one tonight. A lot of cool stuff going on with that. Getting some more prints and starting to get some more enhancements on here. Because yeah, she needs more, and then I need to definitely do something about that nose plate. It is just kind of bleh. So we'll try to make a piece that will go on the edge here and kind of seal that up. And then as I come back in with the panel lines, this should darken. This one I know is a seam, but these should darken up to kind of make that disappear. And then we've got a lot of work to come in with some light colors and build up the machinery back here to really give the engine some detail, darken these inside these grooves, and then, like I said, it'll be time for the weathering pencils to come in here, start giving the rust appearance. We'll start using some sponge probably to give wear and tear and battle grime and stuff like that. So definitely a lot coming for this ship. The goal is to kind of what I started here tonight, get that all painted, get a matte, get the underside done as well, get a matte varnish on here, and then we can start really kind of working with the weathering and then drilling in. Hopefully I'll have the new guns and maybe some of the magnets already in place to kind of demonstrate what I'm after with the magnets and the smaller guns. So definitely going to raise these up and give more of a heavy gun sitting on top look is the hope. So right now it's just the start of the paint job. It is just the very beginning. This has got, I said 5 episodes, but probably 6 or 7 if I run this all the way to ground. So it just kind of depends on how the week goes and how much I can get done in a sitting. So all just kind of plays variable with the day job and stuff like that. You guys did hear I have launched an Etsy store for some of the prints that I do. Got some Groots, got some Star Wars birdhouses out there, stuff like that. The holiday season's coming. I do apologize, it is US only, but kind of starting to take these. I have so much stuff that I've printed and get it out the door so that I can make, more cool stuff and kind of have fun and keep going for printing, because I know I have not brought a let's print it video in quite a while, and yeah, I need one of those to kind of light up my day. It's been a lot of salesy videos, let's look at new equipment, which keep your eyes peeled, guys. So one of the things I run to as a choke point is resin, specifically the curing. And if you guys are interested, in a couple weeks I'll be posting a video on this. This costs about $80. It's a do-it-yourself curing enclosure. It's about the same size as my Ender 3 or my CR10 build plate. It's a little bit bigger. So I'm kind of hopeful, especially with some of the bigger stuff, that this is going to be kind of cool. Hopefully you guys will be interested in it. But that'll be coming to a Friday video near you. And the shop tour. Oh yeah, Doug, hopefully you're still around for that. The video, I'm hoping to drop the video this Friday on the shop tour. So that is the plan there. So yeah. Guys, I think in, how long has this stream been going? In 55 minutes, we went from bleh to having some pretty nice color on board. Now again, base coats, we got to shine this guy up. And one of the things we'll use to kind of shine up the red a little bit and give it more depth, we're going to start working with some transparent colors. I think there's a pull thing I got to take off here. There it is. I like these pull things. Get the color all over my hands. Kind of take some of the transparent. Where's it good? Let's just go right here and bring it into the red to really kind of give it a gloss and a shadow feel. So looking forward to kind of doing some work with this. Kind of pop that red out a little bit more and really kind of make this, I'm just going to do this one. Kind of give it a little bit more of a shine and make the red a bit more red and not as flat, basically. Oh, Eva's up. That's my dog you can hear in the background. So, alright guys, Wolfgang, have a good night. Appreciate you guys all stopping by. Unfortunately, my time tonight has run out. So, stick around. Here's hoping that we will have some more. I really kind of want to eke in some more streams, but we're doing a lot of stuff going on. If you're new here and just checking out the stream, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys go hit that like button. Help me out. That helps us out a lot. And again, let's get those names down in the comment. We've already got 4 or 5. I got to go back through the chat and get them all written down. But if you got a name for this one, let's get that down in the comment and let's make sure we see those. So appreciate you guys, and we will catch you all next week on the next stream. See you guys later. Hello everybody, and welcome to tonight's stream. So we've got the beast on the desk still. Unfortunately, I really didn't make much progress compared to last week because some print fails stopped me from getting some stuff done. I'm going to talk about this piece here in a little bit later. Actually get some opinion on it before I do it. There's all kinds of stuff that's just kind of going on with this model that is just fun. So you guys can tell she's big, she's mean, and she's definitely got a good sheen. Some of you guys might notice I'm using a new camera. I've got an Elgato face cam I'm giving a try, so we'll see how that does tonight as well. Because I'm debating, because I've got the picture of me over here, I'm debating a camera just right here looking down, but basically it's like right here at my shoulder, so it might give a better view. I don't know. I'm kind of playing with stuff a little bit, but basically more painting, some discussion, and we're actually going to start embedding magnets in this tonight, because I want to get the magnet base embedded for the guns that I'm going to talk about here later. And then yeah, we'll just kind of look at some of the other prints that have been done recently. We'll talk about some of the upcoming videos. If you guys haven't, the last Friday was the stream on the shop tour, so that went live last week. So, but if you haven't checked that out, go check that one out. I'm going to talk about some paintbrushes. I'm going to talk about a few things tonight, I think. Just kind of where we're going as we go into the holiday season. We're almost to Thanksgiving. Black Friday is almost here, so definitely wanted to take next week and just have conversations about printers. Because basically the time for printer is, if you're thinking about it, Black Friday's coming, Cyber Monday, the holiday sales, putting it on your Christmas wish list, is all coming up. So thanks, Dirks. Appreciate it. Yeah, this one is definitely coming along. She is massive. This is an understatement, that she is massive. It is just overwhelmingly large. Hey, Douglas, how's it going? The ship is overwhelmingly large. It's all I can say about it. Oh, sometimes thinking about it and looking at it just makes my head hurt. But let's have the gun conversation. So I 3D resin 3D printed some guns. You can see it did not go well. It it failed horribly. And they're just thin, they're small. I just wasn't happy with it, especially when I put it on the model. Yeah, it's the right size. It matches what was put into the model, but it's just not giving me that grandiose, this is my guns feel. So I've gone back and I'm actually doubling the size of this print. So, oh, appreciate it, man. Actually, we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But yeah, that Thor print is pretty epic. And that was done by Wicked. They have a Patreon that you can get onto, and they have some pretty awesome models. I've got Hawkeye sitting over here too. Just you can't see it because my face is in the way, but it's over here off camera. I've got a Hawkeye figurine as well that I've printed. But basically, these guns, I've tried to have them ready for today, and well, you can just kind of see that didn't happen. So I've doubled them. Doubled their size, double the fun. Hi Paul, how's it going? Halloween was good. We just sat out on the porch and handed out candy. I didn't even do a costume this year, unfortunately. I'll have to get back to normal next year with a pretty cool costume. So, but basically, I'm gonna double the size of the guns, make them more imposing on the hull here. And try to have those printed for next week's stream. But like I said, I want to install magnets into the hull. And where's the other set? There's another set floating around here on the desk. There they are. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these bigger magnets and I'm going to embed them into where the gun mount currently is, into the model itself. I'm going to embed these in to all the places that there are guns, and there's lots. Don't worry, I have plenty of magnets. We're gonna start some of these on stream tonight. And then I've got a smaller magnet that I'm actually going to glue onto the gun, so the guns will actually sit up a little bit, have a nice pivot, but also, you know, be that big imposing gun that they're supposed to be. So while the first round with the resin print was disappointing, the plan is emerging, and you know, even the Cylons had a plan. So embedding the guns means drilling into the model. And a lot of people would just get the handheld hobby drill out. Well, just the top of this alone, there are 6, 10, 12 of these guns that I got them in bed. So that ain't gonna fly. So I've got this cool little hobby drill. It's called a wow stick, but it's just a rechargeable little drill that can be your friend with getting this started. So we'll get this down into the collar here. Whoops, don't hit the button, Mike, and rip your hand off. But what's nice is it is one nice little drill. And basically, I'm just going to center hole it. Well, try to. But just a press of a button, I can start drilling in. Usually this one's not that, doesn't lock up like this. The model must be thicker than I thought. There we go. So we got the first hole. I'm only gonna, on video here, I'm only gonna do this top 4. So. Now the other reason why I want to do a magnet is I want the guns to be removable. So that way, you know, the plan is to sell this. I don't plan on keeping this in my shop. Although I am getting more attached, I'm not going to lie about it, but the plan is for this to not stay here. Alright, so there's the first 4 holes. I may not use the larger magnets. I may do this all with the smaller ones. So basically, what I need to do is take one of these smaller magnets, keyword 1, not 2, and start basically getting them fitted into the holes, which will require me probably using tweezers. But these smaller magnets may actually just work. But essentially, adhering a magnet to the setting, I'm going to set that magnet down into the hole, which I got to bore it out a little bit more by the looks of it. I don't want to bore it too much so it'll actually sit there. Set the magnets flush, then the turret, once the new ones are printed, the magnet I'll bore in a little bit because I want it to have a little bit of rise. That way, you know, the guns have to be able to look like they can, basically they look like they could pivot, they could lift, and the magnets kind of give me that flexibility while also that perseverance. Oh, believe me, Douglas, we're nowhere near done getting this thing painted. We're still in base coat, unfortunately. So yeah, this has been a massive project. I mean, since we started this is what, the 4th stream that we've worked on this, I think. And yeah, she's just the ship is living up to its name as the Beast. So you had the Beast and the bucket. I'm starting to fear this is going to become one of those models I can't let it go because I'll never feel like it's finished. But I know it has to go. The cool thing about this little drill is it's completely rechargeable and it works really, really well. There's one embedded. So even if I wanted to come back with this bigger magnet, I may put some super glue around it just to be on the safe side. But basically, I mean, that gun's going to sit up on top, make it look like it's always supposed to have been there. So definitely kind of a fun thing going on there. Don't want to get too carried away. there's two already in. Yeah, this ship's going to be really pretty. You can tell I did some extra coating on the yellow. I need to do even more, to be honest. Just haven't had the time. Time has been my enemy this week, let's put it this way. So but definitely kind of one of those things. So we had 5 suggestions last week for a name. Let's kind of continue the trend, guys. If you guys thought of anything new, because I got nothing new in the comments other than what we had in the chat. So this was printed with a CR10 Max, and it took 16 days. It was printed in 10 pieces. All at the same time. And I've been looking for the time lapse. Hey Train Man, how's it going? So I sworn I had a time lapse of this thing being printed. But it was all done with a CR10 Max. All at one time. Yeah, I've noticed it too. We'll have to deal with it this stream, and then this weekend I plan to pull all the cabling and kind of mess with it. I think I'm overloading the USB hub on the Mac Studio. So, oh no. This one magnet's just wanting to be stubborn. Needs a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, it's a new camera. Still kind of getting all the kinks worked out with it. So hopefully once I redo the wires and that, it'll sort itself out. Hopefully it's not too annoying. Ah, the Photon Mono X. So Train Man, I have one of them. I have the M3, and I don't use them a lot because I had so much struggle with that printer. So one thing that I learned is you gotta just slow it down. That printer, everybody says print fast, print fast. I found if I slowed it down, it worked great. And your resin is going to be a kicker. What problem are you having? Are you having a problem with it, keeping the first layer, or is it just not even? Is it printing all the base layer and the supports and then nothing? So, because that printer is notorious for problems. There we go. All magnets nice and set in place. Now just to kind of coup de grace a little bit, a very thin layer around them of super glue. There we go. So the top 4 points are set and ready to go. So once I have the reprint of the double size gun, then and hopefully the barrels actually come out on the double size. Man, that is flickering badly, isn't it? This poor thing. All right. Hang on one second, guys. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. And basically, since the last one, you guys saw me drill in the hole in the top for the 4 spots for the magnets of the 12 guns. Well, I went a little bit further with it. I've done all of that, and as you guys can see, she has 12 guns. Let's move this keyboard out of my way. So basically, I was kind of having some fun with this. I printed several different sizes of these guns. And you can see this is 200% of the normal model. And I don't know why, but for her main gun armament, I just fell in love with the size because it just looks intimidating. And basically what you can see, what I've done is I've glued the magnet in to the base of the gun. I drilled a 1/8 inch hole into this, and then I mounted, and I went cheap. I used super glue. I mounted the magnet in, and as well as doing it, and you guys can see the divot where the gun was put into the smaller model, because making a gun like this wouldn't work very well. Well, I just used it as a gun pedestal to create the guns. So basically, kind of give you more of a topside view. I'll bring it up a bit closer to the camera. You can see those guns sitting in there. They're on there. I can tilt her. Ooh, a little bit of debris still on her. And those guns are not turning. They're not going anywhere. So they're just little 1/8 inch magnets that I've gotten off Amazon. They work really well. And when I want to go to, some of them are a little stuck. When I want to go to transport it, I just pop them off and put them somewhere safe. That way the peg doesn't lose her guns. Because basically, these guns, I can get it close enough to the camera, you can see this, those end parts are extremely thin, but I wanted to get that, basically that effect of what the Battlestar Galactica guns look like, especially in the mini-series that started the show. I really wanted that effect. Now, I'm calling this her main armament. Because, well, you know, the Pegasus in the show, she was known as the Beast. I mean, she was armed to the teeth. And these big guns just, I don't know, they stood out to me. We'll just call this a Mercury-class prototype, maybe. That she had some oversized armament. But basically, I mean, those guns just make her look, it changes the aesthetic of the ship, in my opinion. But now that we've got the guns, we've got them mountable, and we've got them ready to work with, now they need some color, because they're just blending in. They don't look used. They look brand new, polished, and right off the line. We don't want that. We don't want that. We want these to look like they've been firing some rounds, right? So that's kind of the idea. And what I'm going to kind of start working with tonight, I'll kind of start bringing in some more color into the hull. Probably start doing some contour with the Tamiya contour paint. Is what I'm thinking. If you guys have suggestions, definitely leave them over in the comments in the chat. Let's put them in the chat, and let's see where everybody's at tonight. Let's get in that chat. Let's start talking, guys. Let me know where you're at. What's your favorite part of Battlestar? Let's go that route. So what I'm thinking is kind of just starting with a tip of blue at the gun. And I'm probably going to use some contour paint to do it. I'm thinking about using some contrast from Citadel. Maybe starting with like some Frost Heart contrast paint or something like that to pull it back, make the very tip of it the blue, and kind of put some purple in between, and maybe come to a copperish look further down the barrel here is kind of what I'm thinking. And again, guys, it's new tech. If something sounds wrong, something like the camera's cutting out on me or something, definitely let me know. So we can kind of see so I know next time before I take a look at it, that I can take a look at it. And hopefully the video quality is a lot better, because we're actually streaming in 1080 this time. So let's kind of, I don't know why the shade, I think that's too early to go to a shade. You know what? I'm really kind of digging. I'm going to get this shook up real quick. Probably need to put a ball bearing in there. Yep, we need a ball bearing. Really knock that stuff clean, so. Oh. Huntsville, Texas. Where's Huntsville, Texas at? Bloop. Ball bearing, get that a little bit more saturated in there. All right. Put my tube of ball bearings away before I knock it over and knock ball bearings all over the floor. And yes, I've done it. It's not fun. But they have their advantage when it comes to shaking up your paints. Hey Douglas, welcome to the fun tonight. So I am actually going to stick with a small brush. I'm going to go back to this view. I'm kind of having a blast with this whole second view. Hopefully you guys enjoy this view. That it kind of brings you more down to the table. You can kind of get more of a detailed view of what I'm doing. Really digging this new software. What do I want to do here? That's not what I want. This is what I want. Doing pretty good, Douglas. How about you? Hey, SDM. How's it going? It's getting time to clean my wet palette. Never. Oh. Got more cameras set up. I got new software. I'm not using Streamlabs anymore. I moved over to Ecamm to try to make this a little bit better. After the setbacks of the last stream, I did not want to repeat that mishap, and I don't have anything to go back up onto this week, so I definitely did not want to repeat a last week's stream, even though I know the possibility is there with new technology. Basically what I'm doing is this is kind of the first layer to making the guns look like they've been fired. And they've been fired way too much. So the Stream Deck, especially coupled with Ecamm and its profile, it's making things wonderful, but I'm realizing I need to move it over here and not back where it is, but that requires, well, it may not require a whole bunch. Yep, it's going to require a whole bunch because that cable's in there. So, not doing that tonight, but that's okay. And what I'm doing, the color that I'm using, guys, is it's a Citadel contrast. I'm using Citadel Frostheart to start the bluish tint effect. I'm just getting kind of that base layer, and then I'll come back and kind of make it more metallic looking, some purples, and that to kind of get that effect in there. But I love the contrast paints, just what you can do with it. Yeah, SDM. I can definitely post it. They're out on Thingiverse. These guns that you're seeing on my ship are 2 times the size of the actual model. I just had a really hard time printing the... I still intend to print the smaller ones, especially for the ship's underarmament, but I just kind of struggled with it. Even with these at 200%, I had to cure these before I removed them from supports. They were just so soft that they just weren't playing ball on coming off the supports. Let the magnet get back hold of it. So it was a bit of a challenge, to be honest. But I love that I've gone with the magnets, that I can just safely take these off. It makes it so much easier moving this around. You know, I don't have to worry about breaking the gun, which makes it really, really nice. Makes it a lot easier to work with. But basically, I'm kind of going with the effect here. You know, this ship's been out. She's been firing. She's been doing stuff. Not the pristine. I've been sitting in a dry dock Pegasus that we got that came out all fat and happy. So basically, and I'm calling these the main armament. I am going to try to do smaller ones. So look, when you go out to Thingiverse SDM, look for Battlestar guns. Try that one. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I just lost my Chrome window. Gotta love it. New window. Oh yeah, it does not come up when you search Battlestar. Search Battlestar gun unit. And here, we'll just do this real quick. Well, that's not working. What screen is that showing? Oh, here we go. It's showing the wrong screen. That's why it's not working. Haha. But yeah, here it is out on Thingiverse SD. If you search Battlestar gun unit, it'll turn up. Now these are really, really small. Really kind of hard to work with in their original size. You can see that print. They're not mine, but they're resin prints. Printing them at their normal size, I had a lot of trouble with them just falling apart. But if you like go up to 150% with a really sharp like 4K resin print, you can probably get a very good set. These are 200%, so they definitely have a larger look, but like I said, it's a Mercury class. I was going for the big guns because why not? She's big, she's pretty. She deserves to look mean, and that's what I was going for on this one. But yeah, those are a spectacular looking model. I love the way that, you know, just it's got the 3 barrels. It looks like the guns. I'm going to try to do something for the look of, you know, I don't know about the Pegasus gun units. I know the Galactica, I mean, they had people sitting in that unit. Especially was shown really well in the final episode. Oh, here, I'm trying to show you something and can't even see. So, all right, back to it. There we go. So even for me printing at 8K, I didn't even want to put these in my 8K printer because I'm just sitting there going, these are just going to fall apart and make a mess. I was really worried about that. Ooh, that one got put on hard. That one is gettable though. But yeah, I'm just going to come in with this blue, come back with some purples. Really kind of make this thing look, you know, fired. Maybe even some copperish tones. And basically, once I kind of do this to the guns, I want to come back. I want to get a matte finish on her, so I can start doing the real wear and tear. Like she's been alone for a long time, hasn't been in a shipyard. But yeah, definitely if you guys haven't, go look for that community post, vote for the name of the ship. Right now, Destiny's Hand is winning. Last I looked. So you have to go to my channel page and go to the community tab on that page and you'll see the post. So the poll is still open for that set of names. If you got another name, get it in the chat here. Let's get that in there. So I'm still kind of feeling out the new cameras, guys, so if I'm getting out of view or something, definitely let me know. But yeah, these little 1/8 inch magnets just kind of make these more fun, safer, because they are a bit more fragile. I can take them off, put them in foam, and transport them very easily. So really like the magnets. And these 1/8 inch magnets, you get a bunch for like $8 or $9. I'm not even being real particular right now because, you know, there's going to be some more cleanup, shading, shifting, and layering that I do here to these guns. So we're just trying to get the effect that, you know, we've been used. What kind of stuff do you print, SDM? Just out of curiosity. You do starship design, starships, cosplays. What kind of stuff gets your printing heart going? And if you guys are ever interested in seeing, you know, the stuff that I'm printing on a more daily basis, go out and find Rise 3D Printing out on Instagram. We post every day of new stuff going on in my shop. So whether it's new toys that have arrived, kind of get a sneak peek sometimes of what's going on here in the shop over on Instagram before it happens over here on YouTube. So definitely go make sure you're following over there. To see all kinds of new stuff, fails. I post a lot of my fails. I fail a lot, but it's okay. That's the fun of 3D printing, is failing and learning from it and making your stuff even better. Three more, and they may be really stuck on. Two of them are. I may have to get a tool and pop them. I may have put them on a little too soon, that's all. But base coat underneath, what you're seeing, the metallic color, that is Citadel's Lead Belcher. I just really like this color. All right. Got two more to pop off, but they're kind of on there. So I'm going to be really gentle. And you can see even sometimes, oop, I saw something happen there. Even sometimes I drill a little bit too far with the drill. It happens. STM, if you've got models you'd like to see other people print, definitely catch up with me in my email, and be glad to print some of your stuff and build them on the channel here too. Yeah, that one's broken, but that's the side with the hull damage, so I'm okay with this one having a bit of a break in her. All right, one more. Hopefully she'll just pop right off. And what's happening there, guys, is the super glue kind of seeped down. I probably put it together a little too fast, but I was trying to get it done. One, I was just trying to get these guns on here and get them safe, because yeah, stuff happens. I'm in a household with a dog. I'm a klutz. You know, I tend to break stuff before it gets here, so unfortunately. Trying to get an FDM model of the Enterprise F out before Picard comes around in March, or February now. So we will see if I get a nice model of the Enterprise F on here. And there we go. So we've got the blue, start of the blue highlighting of the gun's wear and tear. So it's very simple, blue. I want the ends to be the more blue, because I've been fired. I want kind of the more purple and more of the reddish kind of back in the gun. So we'll clean that out of the brush real quick. Appreciate it, JJ Fording. Yeah, I tend to have them, when it comes to 3D prints, a little too often. Here lately I've broken so much stuff. I'll get it printed, I'll get all happy about it, and then I'll break it. Then I'm sad for a little while. Then you know what? I realize, you know what? I'm just going to go print it again. That's kind of the fun of it. So you kind of realize, whoops, I made a mistake, and then you go fix it. So, all right, those kind of need some time to dry, which is fine, because I want to pull back and start playing in here with some colors. I appreciate it, STM. I really do. We're trying to step up a little bit more, I think, is the term I want to use here. Do a little bit more, be a little bit more creative. The Pegasus is definitely a big departure from what I'm used to doing, so kind of doing this on stream with you guys is a little unnerving. But you know, I'm actually I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and just getting here, having the conversation with you guys, because you guys know if you come to the stream and you got a 3D printing problem, get it in that chat, because you guys know I'll diverge and totally go work on your 3D printing problem. I do that because, you know, 3D printing can be difficult. And it's kind of one of those things I want to make sure we're helping each other. That's the whole point here, is to build cool stuff and do some really cool stuff with 3D printing. So, all right. So what I want to start with here is, yeah, of course, you know, after I went with the lead belcher, my shipment of natural steel came in. So I may use it to do some Aztecing. With the new software, Douglas, yes. So the new software will actually let me stream on both platforms at the same time. So I'm thinking about opening that up. Haven't really gone to that can of worms yet, but we'll take that dive eventually at some point here. Not really sure, because I know Twitch is mainly gaming, so I'm kind of hesitant to expend the resources, I guess. Russian blue. Do I have greenite steel? Ooh. Daddy liking. Basically, I want to kind of darken this area. I'm actually thinking about actually doing this frame in a color. I need another ball bearing. I don't have a ball bearing in this one either. What have I been doing? That may be too light. That may not be a good one. Do I have a Mechanicum Gray out here? That would be a great one. And just so you guys know too, the model channel, it is still a work in progress. I've been busy. So hopefully we'll be taking over to some Warhammer stuff over there, some Warhammer builds, and that fun stuff over there here soon. Maybe I'll, it's not hard to set this up to stream over there, so I may do that. So many colors, so little time. I don't want to do more air belcher, lead belcher. Technical's not gonna look good. You know what? I think we're just gonna pull some Mechanicus Gray in here. Mechanicus Gray. For a gray, I really like Mechanicus Gray. It is just a beautiful, very smooth gray. Give it a good shake up here. Love my little shaker. And it's one of those things too, we've got some new stuff I'm going to play with this model. I'm going to work with some down and dirty rust, kind of in a few spots hopefully. And then I'm going to play with AK's Streaking Grime as well to kind of give this ship a used look. Douglas, I'll definitely have to give it a go over there. So I mean, it's not hard. I got to set up Twitch and then get verified and then do a bunch of things within Ecamm here. So shouldn't be too much, I would think. But I'm loving the new intro screen. I loved it. It's just let me customize a little bit more than what I used to be able to. Basically, I want to take this gray, kind of just get in the background more than anywhere. I'm not really concerned about it getting onto parts. I want to kind of keep it into the seam line. But basically, I want to make this area pop. Kind of give it that I'm machinery, I'm not, you know, the sleek armor of the ship look. I am a sensitive component look in here. The landing bays I've been kind of playing with basically an inlay for it to how do I want to put it? An inlay that I can get it in there and actually get it all the way through and give the, and not just have a painted section failure looking kind of thing. I want it to look consistent through through there. So I want to let a little bit of the lead belcher shine kind of keep coming through on some of these pieces. Just kind of make that deeper section pop. I'm going to go back here behind this gun, kind of do the same thing. So right now I'm not really having to be careful. I'm just kind of giving it a alternate layer, essentially. I'm so thrilled that we're actually able to get to do this week. I was so bummed that I had to basically not work on this last week. So I'm really ecstatic we're getting some good progress on it. The guns are on it. It's really kind of made my day to just get the guns on it. I don't know if we'll get to the purple tonight, so we'll see. Oh, 39 degrees, you can keep that. We're at a comfy 66 right now. Our high today, we got up to 81. So I am loving, I'm enjoying the not Missouri, not getting snow, because they got snow last night. And I'm kind of enjoying not having to deal with snow. So but yeah, so basically kind of doing some cutouts here. I'm thinking about adding, you know what, I'm going to add some color there. I think that just looks blah. You know, it's just a section that's not the fancy outer armor. And what I'm going to probably do is I'm using this as a lighter kind of color. I'm going to probably come in with a darker set of grays or silvers and really kind of like these mechanical bits here, make them kind of pop out against that gray. That's why I'm not really worried about the gray getting on them right now, because I want to create that pop. So 43 in Texas. Man. I know living back in Missouri, I'd be just as frozen as you guys are right now. So I am very pleased with my current living situation, that it is not frozen, basically. So it's been, I mean, the transition out here has been hard. It's been hard for me to get used to it, but I'm starting to like the decision a lot here lately. But I know winter's coming for me soon. I know it's coming. So what are your guys' thoughts? I'm thinking about the red, about angling that in the red, because this is not the Pegasus, so we don't have to follow the scheme. So I'm really kind of thinking about giving the red a pop on that frame and this frame here. And actually even kind of some of these frame pieces back here along the ship, just to give her some more life is kind of what I'm thinking. Now, granted, I'm still working on this gray undercoat. I'm still base coating this thing. We are nowhere near doing layers and building up like the additional hull of this, you know, the colors of the ship. We're still in the base layers. So, I mean, technically I have a ton of time.
I'm going to have to do a bunch to kind of wipe this up, because this is what, episode 5 or 6 with this ship. We've been at this one for quite a while, just to kind of bring her to life. And so, and on stream, I'm only going to do this side on stream, guys. I'll do the other side off stream, so you don't have to watch me do the same thing over and over again as I move through the ship's colors. What do you guys think, though? Come on, let's give me some thoughts here in the chat. What do you think about bringing the red to like this framing piece framing piece back here? Yeah, kind of want you guys' input here, because I'm not sure what I want to do. I want to get these mechanic pieces back here into the gray, because they're separate, they're different. I'll be honest, it's kind of the problem with this big thing is you guys can't, it's kind of hard to play with. And actually so basically right now what I'm doing is I'm bringing in these colors here. I'm loving these camera angles. I just love the ability to change that and bring the view to you guys. It just helps so much. Too much red? SDM, what color do you think I should go with? Or should I just leave it in the grays? Because like the guns is going to have some hints of purple. It's going to have a lot. I mean, we could even pull this blue forward if we wanted to. She's going to get a wash, especially when I do the griming, but that'll be after I do a matte varnish. That way I don't mess up this underlying paint coat that I'm doing. A little bit of an error there, but hey, it's acrylic. Easy peasy. So she's going to get a wash. That's going to probably be one of the last things I do, though, is the wash. I'm going to do the contour lining with, like I said, with the Tamiya. We're going to play with that here probably once I finish up these other two. Well, probably just this one, because I can't really see the other one. But I want to get these mechanical looking. So I'm kind of going back to the out of metallic lookingness. And I chose the smaller brush just to kind of take my time with it. Alright. Like I said, I'm just going to stick to this one side. So I'll continue on that all the way around. I'll come back on these other sides around. I need to brighten the yellow on this. And guys, if you're watching, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Let me know. Let's do some contour lining. Let's play with it. So, especially once I start, this is all just base layer, except for the guns. That blue and stuff, that's me starting to shade on them. So
Oh, Star Wars, yeah. There are a few sitting on the drawing board right now, Douglas, that I want to do. The modeling channel, I've got a really nice Star Destroyer model kit out there that I want to work on. I've got an AT-AT Hoth set I want to work on, and I've got the Golden B-Wing set that I've really wanted to start working on, that I'm hoping to really get time to work on at the beginning of the year. As far as trying to think what else is out there. Star Wars model kits I'm kind of in short supply on. I pretty much rattled off the whole collection that I have sitting out there. I've got a nice Jabba the Hutt in his palace, thanks to Highlander242. Go give him a follow out on Instagram, guys. Take a look at his painting. Some of the models I've sent him, just wow on the painting. And actually, I'll show you guys, because he actually gave me a model that is just gorgeous. I'm going to switch you back over here. I mean, look at that paint job that he does. Highlander242. Go check out all the other stuff that he does. So, I mean, he just does magnificent looking paint jobs. The light probably isn't even doing it credit. But, yeah, go check him out over there. Give him a follow, because some of the models that he is painting are models that I've done, and he's doing the paint job. So definitely go give him a follow. All right, where is my... let's get my Tamiya. So I'm going to be honest, guys. I love this stuff. I love this panel line accent color. I've got two colors. I got dark gray and I got black. So we're going to play with both. We're going to get them good and shook up here. Shake, shake, shake. Shake, shake, shake. Don't give me a copyright strike. Oh, the things that we run into, right? All right, so let's try the dark gray. I don't think this is going to look great. Nah, this is going to be too light, I think. It's just going to blend. It's going to give some accenting to it, but I think it's just going to blend. Let's take a look at the black. So the thing you gotta be careful with 3D prints and this contour is basically it can just get into the print lines and can become a mess. The other thing you can do that's really cool about this is it just wipes off. When it's still wet, you can get a lot of it out and kind of clean it up. Especially if you get in there too heavy and it just starts looking wrong. I mean, it can just add a really nice effect to these panel lines. And kind of create seam lines really nicely in the equipment. To really kind of start making it pop out. Yeah, I had one, and I pay for Epidemic Sound, and it was them. It's like, guys, I pay you specifically to avoid this issue. So, yeah. But the black is kind of giving a good, actually, I sometimes just do this to kind of give a smeared effect like that. It kind of gives it a little bit of life to the panel like it's been hit. So, well, so it's supposed to be fine because what you're doing with this one, this has huge panel lines. The wash is actually going to be faster than doing this. I'm just kind of experimenting with what kind of wash I want to come with on this one. But basically, you know, if you're doing, say you're working on Voyager here, those seam lines are ultra thin that you want to just be able to touch and it create the effect. Very lightly touch and see how it fills in and starts doing that, and you can just wipe the excess off with your finger. But it creates a very good contour line effect to bring out those seam lines in that hull. So that's why this has a really fine brush with it. And unfortunately for Voyager, it has to go meet the airbrush again because she crashed during the move. Poor thing. It did not have a good day. So, you know what? Let's move on to the next part, guys.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed all of that. I know there was a ton of stuff in there, a lot of stuff pertaining to the stream, because that's where we've been building this, was on the stream. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here and want to see the rest of this build, because we got a lot more to come. And also, you know, thank you guys. If you have any questions about this, definitely hit us up in the comments down below. Thank you guys, and we'll see you in the next video.